MightyMai episode 23. Let's go. So, hello everyone, welcome back to the MightyMai show, episode 23. I'm here tonight with Mai and opening this week's episode with David Guetta, basically David Bowie remixed by David Guetta like 15 years ago. And there's a news related tonight to David Guetta, so we are going to talk about Jay-Z, about David Guetta, about the Neo protocol, the question of mass adoption and the rights organizations and different types of interesting things that happened this week. But not only covering the news for this week, we had a long conversation with Mai today, like very late in the night for hours, and we like feel the electricity, the what it is to be an artist, and as well as being, taking every role within the music life, whether it's on the creative side or on the business side. And that's crazy to witness music history as close as we have the luck to do. And so it sometimes gets you to some kind of mood that it's so powerful, just to understand the logic and the big picture, seeing the music history, especially when you're that close here from the metaverse point of view and the revolution, and being able to touch the change in real time and leave it all together. And so, yeah, a few stories that we're going maybe to go more personal about our experience, about how we understand that, and as well as covering the news. So I'm happy to be back today with Mai. And how are
Oh
you?
yeah. I'm good, dude. I'm good. We were up very late last night. We had like a 3 or 4 hour long conversation late night, and we were we were definitely sharing some very deep insights about, just this space, this in but even deeper than this space, just being creators and collaborators and, just making art and what it means and, basically like that struggle and that balance to be a creator and be an artist, but at the same time realize that like, either we're all artists or we all are not in a way, and it's kind of just like this big game. But it's beautiful in a way. Uh, so yeah, dude, I'm very excited to touch more on these things, and I'm excited about these topics as well.
Hmm.
Um,
But yeah, I
yeah, dude.
mean, you. I wanted to say that you know all that we are witnessing right now. Sometimes we just don't realize how violent, how aggressive all this history is,
Yeah.
especially when you're not mentally prepared, and that's why, as well, knowing all these concerns, we feel the 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 want, the need to address as well, sometime and touch more about the mental health, or how to face all these changes, all this aggressivity, and we will talk about it uh, within across the news, because really, and today I feel, and quite after our conversation, I mean, I've slept well since and rest, but I woke up kind of, electric, very kind of sometimes this angry energy, and but that I guides towards something positive. But that's why I like had the sentiment that tonight's energy would be epic, and but I know that after your good rest, you may be as well in the same mindset. So I'm trying to keep this energy rolling, and we'll drive this towards all our topics tonight.
Oh yeah, dude. No, that's I we don't ever want to be too too grandiose in the way we say things, but that's it's beautiful the way you're saying it, because it is true. It's a very interesting time period and it's a very interesting place to be right now as creators, and uh, putting it all in this particular thing. You know, and as we talked last night, it's not only my introduction to the Web3 space as a creator, but it's really my introduction to the whole world as an artist in a way. And I've done a lot with other artists, but it's easy to collaborate with people and kind of allow them to wear the art fully, whereas it's kind of it's different now. It's different in the way that I'm approaching things. And so and I know that you also relate to that, so I think like that is definitely an interesting topic that definitely gets overlooked, and particularly in this space, because there's just so much going on and it's so much happening at once that it is a lot to deal with in some respects, but it's also a privilege and it's kind of an honor. So, it's of course it's going to come with that kind of burden, being that it is so important in a way. But also, I'm not trying to make it sound like we're over here single-handedly changing the planet, but you know what I mean. But it does sometimes feel that it is very grand in a way of like what we're doing in the next year, 2, 3 years is really going to shape and pave the way for the future of creators and artists. So it's a lot to handle, but at the same time, so it's beautiful to be able to share it with you and this community and just live here in TokenSmart. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a real luck and honor to be here sharing with the chat. Shout out to Brooke Hawk. I mean, we hang sometime in CryptoVoxels, and thank you for your tips. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And
Oh
so,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, it's very aggressive when you really realize what's happening right now, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So really, when you have no clue about how to deal with your music out there, today especially, it can be very overwhelming, especially if you try to get on the Web3 thing. Still having to manage with a life that can be hard, that can be very quickly overwhelming, and I wish that our energy can be contagious, where when you have the ability to do something new and creative to help yourself, why do it half? Like do it 200% and just don't hesitate, do the thing, do it for you first, and then maybe you will
Mm.
change things and create great waves across the matrix. But yeah, really, if you want to go following your dreams, or make your treat yourself well by being creative and so on, just go 200%. And like, why doing it half when you can really um, just enjoy, live that moment like hic and nook. uh,
Absolutely. And I like what you said. Not to stop that train of thought, but I do really like how you said, you got to do it for you, and hopefully that is what. Well, not even hopefully. It's just sometimes when you do things for the most pure reasons, for just doing it for yourself, um, that's whenever it can make the most quality impact on others. So um, without you even realizing it, it's sometimes when we try to do things, sometimes that's what gets in the way of us actually doing what we needed to do. So I like that you added that in there, because it is like that, and that's the thing to remember right now. It's like, we are doing this all for ourselves, but at the same time, by doing it for ourselves, it's going to do it for generations and a bunch of people to come. So I think it has like I just think it has like such a wave of impact. And just being in the mix of it and being so in the details, and like you said, it being such an aggressive waves. I think it's sometimes hard to realize the magnitude of what we're doing,
mhm,
or the magnitude of just what the responsibility is us for us to do it the right way. And when we get there, I think maybe looking back, we'll be able to realize that like we were lucky to be able to like have the burden that we talked about last night, even where it's like, it's tough to have to do this, but at the same time, it's also like we said, like it's a privilege, it's an honor, and it's like it's an opportunity to be that person. And there's nothing great that's ever been completed um that was simple, and that didn't come with some sort of mental burden, or didn't feel like it was some aggressive battle to actually get completed. So but yeah, I just love that you said, you got to do it for yourself first, and that's kind of how you do it for other people, is by
mhm.
just doing it 100% for you. That's what's going to show somebody else how to do it for themselves. So
Yeah,
I feel that.
absolutely. And so to get into the topics and to circle back to this introduction song that I played, I read in the news today that David Guetta, the headline is that he's selling his apartment in Miami for $15 million, and he's accepting cryptocurrency for this apartment. And so that's a pretty basic news, but it means a lot, and especially for me, where I
Huge.
know David Guetta since his early days. The first records he played, he bought. I mean, I have kind of a close story with him, even though I mean, I've always been close to him without having direct interaction with him, but I know his story like from day one. And so seeing that he, is selling something like for his apartment, one of his assets, physical assets, for cryptocurrency is pretty significant. But I also learned while reading this news, because I haven't been, following too much what he's been doing recently, that he sold his whole catalog, publishing catalog, to Warner Music for $100 million, and I didn't know that. And I was thinking like, wow, that's quite a move. So he sell basically his whole publishing rights for of all his life and his upcoming
Damn.
tracks for $100 million. And I'm like, okay, so he's been bought by Warner. Like his life, his musical life is now owned by Warner 100%. And what a curious situation. I mean, it's a good amount of money, so why not? and at the same time he's accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum to sell his apartment, and I'm like, that's quite how the world has changed since this particular record I played, which was uh, a white label. It's a bootleg. It was unofficial, and he printed it in vinyl as a pirate record, and he was sold at like my dad's vinyl shop as an unofficial vinyl. The under the table, and that was pretty interesting. But what I like from that song from David Bowie is that yeah, we can be hero just for one day, and it resonates with me with what we witness in the metaverse community, where and shout out to Space Painter, we started some discussion around this topic, where you know us all the OGs and the leaders, whatever, from the development, the artist, or um, in every side there's leaders emerging that start to feel like they have superpowers, changing the world one tweet at a time. And yeah, and then he creates this sentiment of having a full team of Avengers and so on. So yeah, we can be heroes, and maybe we will write the story of it, and that can be interesting to tell our story in a artistic way. But yeah, how life has changed in 20 years. Where I remember David Guetta being, just a DJ for one clubs in Paris, like the he was no one, and now he sells all his life, uh, artistic life, for 100 millions, and accept Ethereum for selling his apartments, and so, because that's a pretty big message, to sell real estate with cryptocurrency. I've been thinking about that for many months now, that a lot of industries are working on tokenizing the real estates, the physical real estates. And so here, David Guetta clearly sends a signal, like he's got an incredible influence across the world. Like, hey, why don't you sell your apartment for Bitcoin? And so that's very powerful in terms of adoption, and how the his all of his fans and everything will get the message. And but it's kind of paradoxal as well that he gave all his publishing right to a major company at the same time. So yeah, just wanted to translate this feeling and this story around David Guetta, just to make a point today about this kind of incredible career story. But yeah, that
Yeah. Well, there's two interesting big things there that you mentioned. One, that he sold all his publishing rights, which I find pretty crazy.
mhm,
Um, and for 100 million, I mean, I would imagine that that's probably worth it for him. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I would love to do that at one point. I think at the end of the road, it would be amazing to just sell all of my rights to everything for some fat ass amount of money, and then just basically, just ride off into the sunset and not have to worry about it. But that's like more of like a fantasy.
mhm,
Um, but who knows? But then also, yeah, I think even it's pretty cool that you have somebody like David Guetta selling into the selling. I love that meme. Shout out Dragonite. He's been
yeah,
helping me convert these videos for me, which is fire. But yeah, him also selling in cryptocurrency is a statement, especially right now.
yeah,
Um, because I think a lot of people have. It's so interesting, when the price goes down in crypto, everybody starts to be like, "Yeah, I knew it was nothing. I knew it wasn't a big deal." Blah blah blah. But it's so weird because um, it's like nothing has changed at all. In fact, I think I mean, other than my net worth, I mean, I think it's a great thing that we're having this type of moment where you know it's like you're having what I guess the media would call, or like the mainstream would call, retail investors kind of doubting crypto just based on the fact that its price is going down, and yet you still have people who are, and I'm interested into the one next topic that we're going to get into, but you have David Guetta selling his apartment for 15 million in cryptocurrency. If it wasn't valuable to people who have who clearly have wealth and who clearly want to maintain their wealth, I think that that means something a lot. I think that it definitely has. Um, I think it definitely says like, okay, like these people who have wealth and have been in the industry, they probably know a bit more than us in terms of what's coming, maybe in the long term. They have no desire to accept fiat for, and that's $15 million. You know, that could be that's a pretty fat amount of money to accept in crypto. So and you know, I think right now accepting anything in crypto is an amazing benefit to the receiver because, you know, if I paid you in Ethereum right now, I'd be pretty pissed off in 2-3 months whenever most likely. And look, I don't know anything. I don't know if it's going to actually go up like this, but you know, in 2-3 months, it's very possible that ETH's price is 2x what it is now. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it's lower. I have no idea.
You
But you know, I
you
think
said
accepting cryptocurrency.
yeah
I
you
think accepting. Go ahead. Sorry.
sorry to cut you. You said Ethereum was 10K by the end of the year. I remember that, and you said
Oh,
that
I
this
did say
week.
this. I did say this. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I would love. Well, I mean, I'm hyping. I'm hyping it up. I'd love to see it. I'd just love to see it. um, it would be amazing though. I mean, dude, it's so possible. I mean, like, it's to me, you know, not getting into the market too much here, but I do think like it's possible in the sense that what we're seeing right now is so interesting because we have seen a very ridiculous crash, so to speak. But at the same time, it still isn't that bad, even though it was horrible. In terms of percentage, it was fucking horrible. But at the same time, if you look 4 months ago, what is it, 4 months? Yeah, 4 months ago, we're ahead of 4 months ago. Well, sort of.
Mhm.
Not everything is. Not everything is where it was above where it was 4 months ago, but a lot of things are above where they were from 4 or 5 months ago. And if you go back 6 months, it's all up than where it was 6 months ago. So there's it's really strange that people think like this is like the end or that this is some sort of horrible thing. Like it's just really interesting to see how the average person um, reacts to a situation like this. Which don't get me wrong, like I didn't react awesomely either at first, but this is my first real time holding and enough that it mattered enough for me to notice something like that occur. So I think it's once again, it's like a privilege to be able to have something this early, but at the same time, like you're gonna ride the wave. But it's just interesting to see that like negatively impacts the sentiment of the actual asset itself and the technology of it itself.
Yeah,
You know, I have friends
yeah.
and
Go,
but
go ahead.
but then you have someone like but then you have someone like David Guetta who's like, you know, doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yo, I want to accept a payment for my apartment in cryptocurrency, and I think that says a lot. I think that just says a lot.
Yeah, and I think he knows a lot because by following his career, there has been one point, especially when he came to the United States and started, you know, his big hit records with Akon, Kid Cudi, Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am, and everyone. At this very moment, you know, I feel like he very clearly, and it was still justified for all his upcoming release after, you know, with Sia and Lady Gaga and everything, where he clearly entered the occult, you know, at this point, and he still is kind of, you know, riding this wave, and that's basically, I believe, you know, you don't do a $100 million deal of your entire life. I mean, that pretty much symbolizes you sold your soul to the devil in terms of music. So you don't have any more legitimacy to, you know, do the music you want, or it's just business at this point. And so
Well, did he sell?
it
Did he
feel
sell his future creations too?
yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. Sounds like this guy fucked up.
I don't judge, but
I
at some
don't judge.
point, I
We are on a podcast. We have to judge. No,
yeah, but I mean, yeah,
no.
I've been clearly following the story, and I've seen him being from local to basically the occult world, and since he's into this game, he's been 100% selling, you know, his life to it. for the purpose of that much money, and he got the money. He got what he wanted, obviously. So, but in terms of credibility, he lost everything since that day. I mean, he still has his big influence across the world, and no one kind of asked the question, who is David Guetta? What is David Guetta? You know, just the songs are traveling across the networks, does its effects with the heavy marketing thing, and who nobody really cares who David Guetta is today. So that's, but from the guys that followed him from
Right.
the very beginning, all the early electronic music dance scene and everything, there's clearly been this separation at some point where the whole culture was dying, and at the same time he was going only up, and the more he went up, the more he was killing the culture and the community. And so I think everyone saw that very clearly, and he pretty much killed electronic dance music by uh, overdoing it. It means it went too much mainstream, so that it killed the original culture and then created a monster of business that went. That's where the term EDM came into place. It was the hashtag, the business hashtag to get this thing being scaled up worldwide to a new level that they were kind of working on since 30 days, from the 90s, the 90s, yeah, the very early club music, house music scene in Chicago, in Europe, and across different places in the world. And 30 years later, 20 years later, the top five DJs popped up and kind of succeeded in breaking this genre of music across a very international status. And but that's where there was a separation between the original culture and then the superstars that pretty much killed the culture by being too much mainstream and going too much into the money game, to the point where today here we are. Like, he got 100 millions, and the rest of the whole culture pretty much died and got to reshape itself into the new economy, the return of the hip hop, and but that's the street culture that changed and had to adapt to a new thing, while he was cashing on this mega monster that what became EDM, because at the time festivals was blowing all across the world. There haven't been much festivals than in the 10 past years than ever before, and this was all synchronized to electronic dance music becoming that industry monster, cash grab, cash cow, and yeah. So I mean, he's been playing this game since he decided to separate from the culture and create this monster, and so that's a pretty interesting story. When you cares about the music and everything, that kind of breaks your heart. What David Guetta did in terms of career choice, when it only when it comes to the music and the passion of it. So I mean, that's why I don't judge. I mean, he's done his choice, but these choices pretty much symbolizes, yeah, like you sold your soul to the devil, which here is represented by Warner Music, and I had quite some experiences with Warner Music as well, so I can relate on that, and yeah, so that's pretty paradoxal, because yeah, at the same time you can clearly see him being into the crypto. He's been working and having some partnerships with a platform for live video based on the blockchain. We covered that a few months back, and yeah. But we can move on to another case study. We can talk if this was what you were pointing to, like the Jay-Z case.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
Or
mean, just
yeah,
one more thing.
yeah, if you wanted
The only
to comment on what I said, yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely I agree with you. I think the main point I got from that was that he kind of has always been in the game like that, and always kind of had uh been playing the industry game, so to speak. Um, when I said like, oh, I think like he's fucked up. What I mean by that is like I find it interesting that after all of this time, and all of what he's done, what would have forced him or made him decide to sell all of his rights to Warner? It almost makes it feel like it was a punishment in a way, like somebody forced him to, you know, basically sell his rights. And I find that very interesting that on the same, I don't know how together in terms of timeline him selling his rights are and him selling his apartment in crypto is. Um, I don't. Do you know a date on that? Was that like very very recent?
Yeah, the catalog, you mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
both.
um, I believe this is pretty recent. Yeah, I don't have the
He's
date, the exact date, but yeah, I think.
he's moving to Mars. It's very possible that he's moving to Mars. I could see that. I could see that being the case. Somebody said he's moving to Mars, and yeah, it's very. I mean, who knows? I think I think that it is an interesting situation. I mean, David Guetta has always kind of been, an industry type of guy to me in a way that, I've never really looked at David Guetta as somebody who I'm like really inspired by, so to speak. And I mean, have you ever seen that the last time I heard of David Guetta was that fucking meme that came from the George Floyd tribute
Yeah, yeah.
show.
That's basically what killed him. He didn't realize that meme killed. Uh, that's since then he's underwater in terms of
Yeah,
marketing.
that was bad. That looked
Yeah,
horrible, man.
but
I
especially
mean,
from
but
here,
like,
it was even more powerful from here. Like we watched that, we were like, okay, that's the end of it. Basically, he went too far.
yeah. Well, it's shitty in the sense that obviously, like, he meant it in a genuine way, but
Yeah, but
it's
it
just,
became a meme. Yeah, it automatically turned into a meme without no one even realizing it in the real time. But that's the magic of it. But yeah,
right,
that was
right.
very symbolic.
But hey, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, that type of thing is always like, out of the control.
But
But yeah, I
you
mean, so
know,
maybe that's
that's
go
pretty
ahead, sir.
much where I stopped, having news from him. I saw the news when he was partnering with a blockchain platform of live music, but we didn't heard a lot of it since, and so that's quite of the second news, or I mean, important to me news that I come across, and that's why I'm like, okay, since like he, so quote, died in public with this meme. At the same time, he made 100 million, and this was a very low key move that no one talked about so much. And so I'm like, okay, he died, but he's still in business and pretty much okay. But because yeah, he reached those levels of um, I don't know, networking that he's safe now.
Yeah,
He doesn't
no
care
doubt.
if the audience like him or not. He's into
Right.
new games now.
Yeah, he's got the money, and maybe he's got the support of the industry, and sadly, I think that's how the industry really, really gets people is they put them in positions that are so bad that they kind of need the protection or they need the support of that mainstream machine. And maybe that is what happened with him. Maybe he did get into a position where he really didn't have much else what to do, so he had no choice but to continue in his life was to sell his literal rights to everything for the rest of his life. I was expecting you to almost say that he did it on the blockchain, but it's probably not even necessary yet. I mean, the
Yeah,
contracts still are taken seriously in the modern world. So with industry,
yeah, yeah,
type of situation. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely move on to this next topic. Considering we're kind of on that wave because this is a very 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 interesting topic to me.
yeah. And maybe you can introduce it better than me. I don't if you feel.
Okay. Yeah. No. Please. So yeah, I mean,
I mean,
basically from
I read it. I think I got every extent of it. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, you please, yeah. I think you're probably better at fully describing things than better than me as well. So I think chime in whenever. But basically, so the way I understand this is Dame Dash, who is a third owner in is it Rockefeller?
Yeah.
So he's a third owner. Jay-Z's a third of an owner, and then some other guy who most likely is probably some legal schmuck industry guy. I don't know who the third guy is, to be honest with you. I don't know him. I don't know him like what he does, but basically, Dame Dash tried to um, and the article probably explains it more in depth because I don't know which article this is compared to the article I read, but I know that the article I read basically claimed two things. It claimed one that Dame Dash tried to essentially sell Reasonable Doubt, which is one of Jay-Z's most successful albums, as an NFT. Now, as you read the article, it clearly states that that was a misinterpretation of what really was going on. And quotes from Dame Dash completely deny this allegation. And he claims that what he's trying to do is not sell not sell Reasonable Doubt as an NFT, but what he was doing is he was selling his ownership essentially in that album or in I believe it's that album particularly. He sold his rights to that album in an NFT. So, and basically what ended up happening is the lawyers of Jay Z and the legal team of Rockefeller basically uh, went and reached out to the platform in which Dame Dash was going to sell this NFT, and basically caused all kinds of bullshit. Stopped basically caused negative press around the situation, which Dame Dash was not happy with at all. Um, there's quotes from Dame Dash in this article, I believe. I'm not 100%. Uh, you'll get revenue from Dash himself that would earn the album copyright. Okay, so yeah, so basically the actual sell that Dame Dash was trying to do is he was trying to sell his particular ownership in for the Reasonable Doubt album, which I think is first of all, I mean, whether we look at this as legally correct or incorrect, I think it's fucking sweet that he is trying to sell his rights to Reasonable Doubt in an NFT because most likely that will go for. I think that it would probably go undervalued. That's my particular guess in this situation. I wouldn't imagine that this would sell for um, what it's actually worth. But yeah, so what ended up happening though is the media grabbed the hold of the story and tried to claim that Dame Dash was trying to sell the whole album as an NFT, which obviously wasn't the case, and he clears that up very clearly. But it caused all kinds of negative press around the situation, and I believe that the sale didn't actually occur. But Mighty, maybe you can help fill in some of the gaps of this story that I'm not explaining. But that's from what I understand, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it seems that there was an independent decision from Damon Dash to do so, so without the consent of anyone. And it's like the first album of Jay-Z, his debut album, which yeah was one of his most successful. And there are three right owners in this album, which is Damon Dash, Jay-Z, and a part of Rockefeller, someone, yeah, from Rockefeller. And so yeah, he partnered with this platform called Super Palm, and so it's an official partnership. Damon Dash and Super Palm did an official partnership together, in the back of Rockefeller, in the back of Jay-Z, in the back of everyone, but it's clearly an official move that they promoted and everything. And I think that's also why, it came up to the ears of Rockefeller pretty quick. And so they wanted to do this auction, yeah, which doesn't represent, yeah, the music as an NFT, but more like you said, the royalty share, and yeah, I maybe probably you're right, like his part of the royalty share. So I feel like he can do whatever he wants, it's his share, he
Right.
can benefit of it, but there might be some shady, lines in the contracts that says that, Rockefeller owns the everything that has to do with the record, and that's what we've seen a few months back with Marvel, where, one of the drawing man, how you say, one of the artists that was doing, like, the superheroes graphics sold NFTs of Wonder Woman, and then Marvel came or DC Comics, sorry, came back and say no, you cannot sell Wonder Woman because that's ours. It's not your property, and even though you are drawing it, you cannot sell it because it doesn't belongs to you. So and that's quite of the same thing here with this album where uh, one of the right holders would try to benefit from or do whatever he wants with his part of the work, but the global work is protected by the whole umbrella of Rockefeller and Jay-Z's lawyers and everything. And so what's funny, I think, in this story is that remember since five 4 or 5 months since the craze, we were kind of waiting when does that Jay-Z NFT comes into place. And that's funny that the first story we hear about Jay-Z and NFT is actually him suing for NFT, you know, and
Right.
that's interesting because when Jay-Z NFT, there it is, but it's not how we would have, expected it in the first place. So it's kind of aggressive towards it, saying, okay, I'm gonna put my foot into the game, but with the legal aspect first, uh, which is quite of interesting in that regard. But yeah, so that's an
Yeah. I mean,
interesting thing.
it is super weird and interesting because it's like uh if you read like some of the quotes from the lawyers on Jay-Z's side, they're so misleading. I mean, they're basically trying to claim that Dame was like like was doing something illegal when it's very clear when you
Yeah,
hear what Dame Dash had to say about it, it doesn't match up at all, which is some serious lawyer shit, you know? These fucking scum ass fucks always try to twist your words, try and make you look guilty when in reality it's the total opposite half the time. But yeah, so I mean, I find that really, really strange. It's almost as if there seems to be something that isn't really being explained here in these articles. Um, and it almost seems like an attack on Dame Dash in general, which Dame Dash always seems to be getting attacked. He always seems to be having issues uh, with the way that he quote unquote does business. But I don't know. I really respect Dame Dash. I mean, anytime I've really watched interviews from him, he seems like he just really, really understands the game and really, really understands business. And so I find, but that being said, I find it really interesting that him knowing the business and him knowing the success of that
yeah.
album, him knowing the probably the monetary value of his percentage in that, I find it interesting that he wants to sell it.
Hmm.
So I think that's also eye opening. Is like what is he understanding that is going to be so valuable here that he's trying to sell his rights?
Yeah.
Because that's alone very interesting. But yeah, and also to mention the fact that it's like it is funny that Jay Z, the first moment that we hear Jay Z and NFTs in the same sentence, it's a lawsuit where he's like basically having somebody try to sell his music as an NFT. Um, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't surprise me that much. I think Jay Z's an op, to be honest with you. I don't really, I don't think that I don't think that he's for the team. I don't think he's for the team at all. He's sold out for sure.
Probably. We talked
But,
about it. Remember, we talked about it, and the whole Discord crashed. So,
oh, I do remember. I was actually thinking while I was saying that, I was like, I would be really, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole Discord just shut us down right now.
They can hear us.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, um, yeah, there is a question in here. I just wanted to respond real quick. It's which is easier to sell as NFT, art or music? My short answer is what's the difference?
That's a good answer. But yeah, I came across I don't remember which article it is. No, it's a tweet from Robness, actually saying that the hashtag NFT will kind of become very useless in very soon because it will become so obvious everywhere and into every industry that it would be like uh, doing hashtag internet, if you tweet,
Yep.
because and NFT
Totally.
will pretty much become the same. So he was kind of having the point where hashtag crypto art will get much more use in the future, as it really describes kind of the culture, whereas putting hashtag NFT will pretty much be meaningless very very soon, since it's everywhere.
Yeah. Um, I totally forgot what I was gonna say there. What did you just say? You got to spark me. Spark me up. I need a light.
Don't use hashtag NFT. Use hashtag
Oh
crypto
yes.
art.
This gave me this gave me a flashback to one of our earlier episodes, and I remember one of the first things I would think about was, crypto art and crypto NFTs, whatever we want to say. The thing that I always thought of is it's not going to be mainstream until we no longer refer to things as crypto art or as NFTs, because at that point, finally, it will be so ingrained in our situation that it'll actually um, it'll actually like it'll be like you said, it's like using the word internet when it's like that's redundant in a way,
Hmm.
because everything is pretty much on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how that transition happens and what exactly is it going to be known that everything is all of a sudden a knownable asset. Once again, I'm most excited for video games incorporating this stuff. I mean, that's definitely the most interested thing I am in at the current moment.
Hmm.
And there are some very, very interesting collaborations happening right now that I'm really bullish on, so to speak. But I have no idea when the development of these things are coming into play. Um, but yeah, uh,
Yeah, and something I
I,
wanted
I I
to
agree.
yeah, something I wanted to touch on in relation to that is that it's pretty paradoxal. It still feels early when, after the recent hype, especially that now there's a crash and that NFTs are dead and whatever. Like it really went down in the mind of the mainstream. Like it calmed down. Uh, that even towards artists. It, in their head, it's kind of and because it's very difficult. There's a bounding curve to learn the technology, get into it, and grasp it to the full extension of it. Where today they are kind of like, okay, I know about NFT, but and what's next? They get back to their traditional way of doing things because they have no clue what to do. They don't understand it. They just have heard of it. They've heard of the million stories of people and all the craziness, but they are like, okay, and so what about that? I have no clue what to do with it. What are the strategies? What uh, and so it's still, I believe it's the biggest majority of artists out there that are reaching this state right now where they know about it but they have no clue, and so it still give a lot of opportunities to develop, for us to take advantage of it, but as well as you realize how much work there is still to do to I mean the road is still kind of long to the mass adoption, I believe, even though everything is going very quick, fast. But yeah, really feel around me the artists are like, okay, I know about NFT, but I'm kind of still clueless, or maybe I would require some help to, having someone to manage that aspects for me. Uh, so it's not automatic yet.
Right. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was all for like the big celebrities news. But there have been some cool stuff happening in the metaverse, around new technologies and such, especially around near. I kind of touched on that at the end of last show. I feel like a lot is happening around the near protocol, um, on Meanbase, but not only. There's a lot of possibilities that start to emerge in terms of what can be done with NFTs, and um, one of the most impressive I've seen. I know it's not only on Near that you can do this, but I've seen it very efficiently there, and with the community being very active around this, is all the programmation of all the decentralized application that you can build, and NFTs based out of code and such. The very interesting things, like I'm not sure to quite understand fully what I've seen tonight, but it sounds like if you look at the screen, I'm showing kind of a sequencer, but I believe the sequencer is the NFT actually. And so it's a music NFT studio with a MIDI part sequencer for creating longer tracks and reusing parts. So it's like your music software is now can be an NFT. And so here's an extract of it. But if you can do programmable music, if you can code into an NFT, if you can put HTML code and really make a program, if you can do a video game that you can showcase as an NFT, then why not having your own music software as an NFT? Yeah, and I think that's what's happening there. So shout out to P. Solomon, who is doing that and who will publish this very soon. But Peter Solomon, I found this brilliant. If it's what I believe it is, or so here, like he's clicking like to publish a track, so his track will be listed on top of this page and for sale for 10 Near tokens. So you will get 4 Near tokens if it sells. And so I'm not sure if the music software is the NFT, but you can create NFT out of this page. But to me, it sounds possible that you can even, why not code your own music software and sell it as an NFT? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, that'd be sweet. So this thing is an NFT that creates NFTs.
I'm not sure if it's an NFT at the origin, but it says it's an NFT studio. So maybe it just only creates NFT once you publish it. But at the same time, I can see in the future that you can pretty much have your software as an NFT that creates NFT. Yeah, that can be. That sounds possible.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, when you first pulled it up, I honestly thought it was that Game Boy, or the I don't want to say too much. I thought it was that video game music creator thing,
Mm-hmm.
because they look similar. But
No,
yeah, I
no.
mean, this is cool. I mean, I don't really I guess I mean, personally, it's not really something that I would use, I guess.
Mhm.
But um but I don't know. That doesn't really
And
negate its value. I'm just saying personally, it's not necessarily something that I would find all that interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it looks as well very early, so maybe, looking at the same thing in 1, 2, or 3 year, we can see very interesting stuff emerging. But and the one showed last time was this audio reactive NFT, where basically the NFT is a code, and the code basically draw in real time connected to the microphone. So when you go onto the website and you plug your microphone, you will just speak and the NFT will react in real time, and that's the essence of this royalty. And so it's very cool and exciting at the same time because again it's the early days of this. So you if you see this, you can pretty much imagine crazy things out of this in 1 to 3 years. Especially if you implement that into, let's say, a video game, and then you plug your mic, and then the landscape evolves, with your voice or whatever while you are playing, or you can imagine pretty crazy stuff, I think. And so these are great examples of pretty low-key developments right now around the capabilities of all these spaces kind of fusing all together: music, programmation, visual art, NFTs, and that creates really a new medium, to a new canvas, a sort of new kind of canvas, kind of in the like of async, that really creates a new canvas. Here it's something that wasn't really possible to do before, and that can be tied within a whole economy, and create a culture around that economy and so on. So yeah, I wanted to showcase this work
No
from
doubt.
Matt
And I do.
Lokier. Matt Lokier, yeah, shout out to him.
Oh yeah, I've seen that name before. Actually, I feel like I've had a conversation with that dude. Maybe I'm tripping. Um, but that yeah, I do agree with that aspect where it's like it can create a whole new a whole new economy, a whole new market, a whole new um monetization of a certain very very strange aspect. I mean, dude, that's the most exciting part about all of this is like people are trying to force Web 2 creations into the Web 3 world. Whereas I feel, and this is maybe a bit of a tangent, but it's something that sparked a thought, is like, I think that the thing that's going to make the Web 3 world work very, very, like on a large mass scale, is stuff that is exclusive to a Web 3 world. And what I mean by that is like very similar to maybe what you just brought up, whereas like, if it's an NFT by design, if it's only creating NFTs, then the economy around that creation is fundamentally going to be different no matter what. And I think that that's kind of the most I think that's the most exciting thing for me particularly. I think that that's probably what's going to work quicker or better than somebody who's forcing like a single like even us who are working on music that we've created in a web 2 way, so to speak, sort of, and then basically trying to force those creations to work in a web 3 manner, whether putting them into an NFT, creating some sort of experience based thing around it. But I really do think that there will be whole ass communities that are going to revolve around brand new sort of inventions that are going to be completely revolved around and inside of the Web3 world. And I think those will be the most successful Web3 products and Web3 services, so to speak. I've said Web3 a lot there, but that's kind of
And
like what I get from this.
this is also playing the community game, because when a success app or something is from the appartenance of a community, it makes all the communities be special and have their own weapon and pride about what they developed, and have the competition within other communities around the tools they are able um, to shine throughout the world. And so this is exciting on that side. That's a new kind of artist, I believe. I mean, we've seen the AI scene and the artistic, visual and musical and technological art scene, but which is still quite underground now. But maybe this unlocking of all these capabilities will create this underground scene more of the rock stars of tomorrow, and with the community being the rock stars, but as well as these leaders that will now can be at the best place to incarn this underground movement that now have a scene to express itself towards a way broader audience in general. So this is all very exciting.
Yeah, and yeah, that's like think about like I mean, dude, like we're watching our entire world essentially collapse. I mean, I know that not to be like be very very random with that statement, but I think it is pretty true. Like the modern economy is never going to be the same, and it's not necessarily because of one thing, but over the past year and a half, we've seen more changes to our world economy than like literally ever in history. And it seems as if nobody even is blinking about it. No one's even
Yeah.
flinching at it. And that's why it's going to be so grand when it finally is arrived. I think we're seeing creators,
But
artists, and
again,
people basically have more power now and more of a way to create and value their creations in a way that was never there before. And so what's next is like what we just talked about, which is that next wave of like that next wave of creations or services or businesses that are web3 exclusive in a way where everything's an NFT, everything's tradable, everything is ownable, everything is like all of that, and it has smart contracts involved, it has all kinds of in-depth creations that are all going to be new to this world, and that's going to cause a whole new world where the youth is going to come up wanting to be creators. Because if you literally ask anybody under the age of 15 what they want to do, they want to be somewhat of a creator. They want to be a YouTuber. They want to be a TikToker. They want to be a musician. Everybody wants to be a creator. And now we're living in a world where that's very, 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 very possible. And I believe like the common consensus in 10 years, or the common economy will be based around creators in 10 years. And so I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing, but it's also, it's going to cause such an interesting world.
yeah, but
And,
again, to get back to the beginning of the show, I mean, this is going to be. We don't realize how violent it can be. How violent the upcoming times will be for the whole world, and how challenging, and how, I mean, it's relates to what you just said. If no one blinked. Meanwhile, yeah, we had the most epic checkout of whole human history. Uh, Please blink, just once, because maybe it can be very challengeful in the future, especially for creators, because they will be the one channeling all this energy and translate it into art. So I will be personally very careful of the symbols and sign I will see emerging in the art, because that's always telling you the direction and the level of aggressivity that we are reaching out there, and which is a pretty good indicator for you to know how the feel is outside. So the art is very important. Reading the art and reading minds of artists through their art is one of the best tool to get the feeling, the sentiment of what's happening out there. And but I'm kind of expecting, and I know I can have no idea, but some crazy new form of art emerging as well, thanks to this new canvas, this new economy that will pretty much embed in the philosophy at roots the defiance and the rebellion and everything. So maybe all this is staged, and prepared, that they want the people to get into that rebellion stage, so maybe to better control them. But there's still a benefit of a doubt where this is not happening, and we may have the force to take over and really free ourselves using this technology. So the technology is not to blame, is who is using it, the good hands or the bad hands. And I mean, it's a very dualistic way to see it, but it's just to explain the idea. And so, yeah, there's still the benefits of the doubt the reasonable doubt to
Hey,
make a good use of it. But bear with me, it's gonna prepare yourself for some turbulence and crazy roller coaster, and it's gonna be fine.
no doubt. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, it's all gonna settle at some point. But and I
You
do
don't
see
know what you're talking about, pal.
in the
200.
spherical art coming in with the creepy messages.
Interference.
But
Spherical art.
maybe you wanted to talk to us, or it's a hot mic.
Spherical art. Do you have something to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, I'm gonna mute you then. Anyway, he definitely yeah, I feel like what he said was pretty hilarious though. But yeah, it's definitely it's interesting. I mean, I you know I say it all the time, but it's just like we're just still early. You know, it really is like that case. Like we have to be patient, but we have to also be forthcoming and very open minded at all moments. The second that the second that we see that thing that's really really clicking, that you know the ones who are really trying to be a part of that can go there and build there because like I said, once that web3 based thing that clicks with the majority works and starts to work, which I do believe will be a video game of some sort. I do believe it'll be some sort of metaverse based game that will have music in it, that will have dance moves in it, that will have, you know, ownable weapons in it, that'll have ownable items. All of these things
Yeah,
are going to be the future
TikTok in
of
a
the
video
planet.
game. TikTok versus
It,
GTA.
yeah, dude, seriously though, you know? I mean, these are huge things. There's actually a Fortnite-esque game that is apparently being created right now. And it's completely NFT based and it's with Decentraland and some other big company.
Mhm.
And I genuinely like if that was me, I'd be on that game. I'd be on that game. Like I'm not much of a, you know, I never really played Fortnite. So actually I never played Fortnite at all. So I really don't, you know, I wouldn't be good at it, so to speak. But I think like if somebody was to try to get ahead, like getting in on these games, like I think it's I think it's a benefit. You know what I mean? So to like be able to get there early and to create there early and to do things exclusively to those things, and it'll work very well. So as long as we stay up to date and as long as we stay open minded that we don't already have the answers, which is something that I've harped on a lot, is like, you know, people who've been here for a while feel like they have these answers when it's like there are no answers. We don't know what is going to be that mainstream thing. We don't know what is really going to work. Sure, NFTs have sold. Sure, certain things worked. Sure, certain things didn't work. That doesn't mean that things that didn't work aren't going to work in the future, and that doesn't mean that things that are work are going to work in the future. Because there's going to be a settling of all of this that will be very much so like it'll be understood and like this will work, this won't work, this will work, this won't work. Like that's gonna happen at some point. And right now, I just still think we're just in the early stages of figuring that all out. But but yeah, I mean, the opportunity is just so vast. I want to read some of these comments though. They seem pretty in depth.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie Crew, for your insight. And she's saying we have to continue to build this multi-layered, the diverse and equitable creative ecosystem versus a singular economy that relies on antiquated ways of being, solidarities economies plus circular economies. We have to get to work, and we have to build more creative funds, residencies, new platforms that are actually decentralized. I agree with that. We kind of touched on that with my earlier. Social media's platform, decentralized schools of knowledge, and that's something that concerns me a lot. Metaverse, etc., and build people ourselves as well. The revolution will be open source, and the revolution will be tokenized as well. So yeah, totally agree with that.
I really like some of those those thoughts too. I mean, first of all, social media platforms and metaverses will, in my opinion, once a tokenized social media platform is going to do massive damage, and a metaverse that kind of incorporates that social media platform is going, like, if a social media platform was smart,
Twice the
they would
damage.
they would basically combine the two. They would do some damage where it's like it's a social media platform, but then there's actually a world that you can actually go into, and everybody's profile is, you know, in this giant open world, and everybody just has a character in this giant open world. All of it's ownable, all of it's tradable, blah 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 blah. And then the one thing that I actually really am interested in is decentralized schools of knowledge. I mean, that would
Yeah,
be fucking
that's
sweet.
that talks
But
to me.
look, the only thing I'll say is like criticism, and is like it is true to me, as I don't think that we will ever really see unless it's so well done, a very large decentralized platform. Like, it just seems to be very challenging to get. Even the platforms that are created today, they're not decentralized. They're they seem decentralized. Like, there's really no, because decentralization
Some of
needs
them
that
are,
means
but yeah.
no, yeah, for sure. Don't get me wrong. It's not all of them, but I'm saying like the majority of financially successful organizations aren't as decentralized as they could be, and they aren't as decentralized as I think that they aimed to be. And I think that's because the main problem with true decentralization is there has to be such an incentive, and it's such a design of operation that it actually is causing the right people to have the power at the right times, but not overly extending that power to certain people at the wrong times. It's really complex to make something super decentralized and actually profitable and actually work, especially when it's a creation based thing, or when it's something based on school in particular. I mean, that would be crazy. I would just be very interested to see a model that's decentralized and actually works. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it's these are the conversations though that need to be had, and these are also the topics that should be at the forefront of developers and people who are really trying to build a true open source decentralized world that is still like ownable and valuable for everybody. So I think these are great topics, and they're great points of view. It's just uh the skepticism comes from the desire for there not to be that skepticism, you know. But I am just throwing out these thoughts because it's like this is true to me. But shout out, shout out, uh,
La
La
Hojita.
Hojita. I'm gonna get
Shout out.
Hojita.
But
I'm
yeah,
figuring it out. I'm figuring it out.
I came across this clip from Ryan Tedder, which is the lead singer of One Republic. Um, and I'm gonna play it real quick.
And I'm doing this because I love the space, and I'm fascinated by it. The whole thing. I just think the future of global economy is the blockchain, is decentralized finance. Period. And if you
100%.
if you don't see that now, this to me is just cracking it open. We're going to be introducing the masses to the blockchain by vis-a-vis artwork and music.
Yeah, so that was a quick extract, but it
Love it.
seems to be really like fascinated, and I mean that's good energy. And I, while I was looking to it, I was thinking like, don't be too much fascinated, or you like keep some energy for later, because if you're fascinated today, you may be, you know, your mind may be blowing too fast. So, but yeah, I love this energy, and again, this is a very mainstream artist. He has One Republic has a huge influence, even though there are less. I don't know there are news today, but here
Well,
we
he's
are.
written mad hits. That dude's a songwriting legend. That
Yeah,
dude's
yeah.
killed it. But dude, I love hearing him say that. I mean, that also frightens me, because as much as I believe that decentralized finance and these types of things are the future, the people who control the finance know that. And so they are setting up so that it's not as decentralized and it's not as free and open source, or however we want to imagine that it should be. The way it should be and the way that it is, without sounding like some sort of like pessimist, they're just not the same. and that's simply because the people who are controlling the situations that we're in don't want to see us have that kind of freedom. Because number one, I don't think they trust us. I don't think that the people who are in control of the planet trust the majority of the masses to genuinely run themselves. And I think it's very, very true when you see quote unquote decentralized organizations running their ship. They they really don't let the masses run
Yeah,
the operation. It's
I,
just not the case.
I agree with
Dragon Age.
Dragon 8. Like, why would they trust the vast majority of the if the move is to control everyone? It doesn't make sense.
No, 100. No, of course it doesn't make sense. But I'm just saying, like, that's also why it's that, like, yeah, it's not in the best interest. We know the answers. I mean, I'm
Mm,
saying this to almost like keep in mind that it's like the sentiment that he's saying, which is like, oh, decentralized finance is the future, the
mhm.
blockchain is the future. I agree, but not in the way that we are imagining it as newbies, as people who just realized it, as people who are here early, seeing it for the way it is correct, like today and how it might be in 10 years. In 10 years, it's going to be very much so centralized, very much so controlled. And you are, and of course, there will be some, I think that there will be ultimate, there will be more, there will be more freedom than maybe the dollar bill, but I still think that like it's going to be much different than we imagine, especially when you have someone like Ryan Tedder who clearly did just learn about this last week, because that's the excitement that I had the first week. That like literally I was DMing everybody. If anybody here remembers my first DMs to you, they most likely were like, "Wow, this is the fucking future of the planet." That's like the first message you send to people, because when it clicks with you, it is massive. It is very exciting. It is a huge moment. And I still feel like that. I still feel the exact same sentiment I do the second I got in here. But the reality is that there's a lot of building to be done, and there's a lot of kinks to be figured out. And those kinks, I don't think are going to be figured out by the little guys. They're going to be forced by regulations, by governments, and by creating centralized versions of what we have, so that our quote unquote decentralized versions have the mass adoption enough so that they can actually work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean,
Um,
to me, it's in the hand of the right team, the good team, to make tools that are good enough to compete. Open source tools that are so efficient, so good, and so evident that the industry cannot compete with that because it will be adopted so fast and because it truly represents. But who knows? I mean, it's pretty general what I'm saying right now, but that's kind of my mindset. And thank you for the
no, I feel
kind
it.
words, Jax. Thank you for your kind words, and we'd love to have you come out and talk about this IRL at the Crypto Jazz Festival. IRL. Uh, I would be curious to know more about the Crypto Jazz Festival. Is it something you organize somewhere? I
Does
mean,
sound interesting. We should do a jazz set, bro. You play jazz?
um, I have a very classical music school teaching, so jazz was considered not music to this school, and so I kind of touched on
Idiot.
jazz by myself later on, but I'm not that best because I don't have the roots of it, but I can adapt to jazz a little bit.
We should we should just. That's one thing that I've yet to do, is like do anything with jazz related playing here in this space, which I should, which I definitely should. But I don't. But I should. But maybe we can do that with the idea of doing a new show. Whereas like maybe at the beginning and at the end we do like a little jazz set. It'd be hard. Um, but that's a random thought. Um,
Yeah,
but
that
yes. So
I was looking at the Crypto Jazz Festival. That looks very sick, and but it's in California. Unfortunately, I cannot really leave France. But if there's something we can do uh, on the internet, in the virtual world, and especially via TokenSmart, I would be honored to. in Newport Beach. I mean, I would love to teleport there, right? Why can't we teleport like in Crypto Voxels?
Right. The worst. The worst.
And
But
July 9 to 11. Okay, I'll try to. I think I can be around. Definitely. But not in Newport Beach, unfortunately.
I can't remember what exactly we were on there, but
No, we did it all. We were on One Republic, but that was all. But we can move on to something else.
yeah, just like even while we move on, just more of a sentiment on that is it's definitely good. I just am curious to see, it's good that we see people like Ryan Tedder, even David Guetta, at the beginning of the conversation, all doing things in crypto. It's all good. Like, we know that this is it. It's just a matter of how it will land. How will it become what we know it is? What is going to cause it to land in the masses' hands? And where are we gonna find ourselves, which are, quote unquote, the early birds, the people who see the technology for maybe what it is and what it should be. Where do we see ourselves in that mix? Do we get left behind? Do we find ourselves in a position of leverage because we're here this early? I think all of these.
Do we become the David Guetta of the crypto music space?
Very true.
In 20
Marty
years.
McFly. Shout out for that.
In 20 years, you can sell all your NFTs to some corporations of all your career, and why not?
Yeah, we keep doing our stuff no matter what. No, Space Painter, I totally agree. I'm just saying that we always want to keep the option in our heads to always adapt to what's coming. That's all. Is like, because there will be mass change and there will be mass adoption in a way and in a place that I just don't think is here yet. And when it happens, it's going to happen very quickly. It's going to be like a TikTok, like TikTok's going to blow up. TikTok, like, it's like a new social media, right? New social media blows up. Everybody's like, oh, that's for the fucking kids, or, oh, that's for them, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, people are literally creating careers off of it. And that's what I think is going to happen with the Web3 space. There will be some sort of Web3 technology, some sort of Web3 economy, some sort of Web3 market that gets created, and that is what will cause this mass shift to some sort of Web3 based economy that is going to be 100% revolved around trading NFTs and owning of digital content. Whereas, like I said, what we see now is Web 2 content, so to speak, quote unquote, because no content is web based anyways. So all content itself is exclusive to the creator, and then they put it into these things that are here. But we're forcing a song that could have been distributed on Spotify, and instead we're putting it in an NFT. And instead of putting a digital piece of art on Instagram, now we're putting it on OpenSea. Like, I think all of these we're not forcing the Web3 world to utilize the technology, but it's just interesting to see what will shift it to be fully in that Web3 world. TikTok's trying to go Web3 in the near future. Dude, that'd be game changing. That'd be fucking huge, because once again, the kids are on TikTok. The kids get it too. These kids aren't dumb. The young generation understands more than we want to give them credit for. These kids who are running these boxing events and are doing all this stuff, they're fucking geniuses. They're literally geniuses. They understand the common world better than the common world. Like, they understand modern attention super well. Whether we respect it or not is our prerogative. It says more about us than it does about them. I think that understanding that they're going to be able to flip this game better than we are is true. And that's why I think you give them an opportunity to utilize it. You give them an easy way to create these NFTs and be creative with it and make it so that they can trade it with their friends in a way that we haven't seen yet. It's going to be huge, bro. It's going to change everything the way we see it now. There will no longer be the way we see NFTs today. I really do believe this, but I think that there will still be a market for these types of things, but it's just not. There's no way that we can sustain an NFT market that's based on selling collectibles. I'm not saying that doesn't mean collectibles won't have their place. I just think that at the end of it, we're gonna see $5 NFTs, and they're gonna trade 20 times because kids just like trading NFTs. Like, imagine if I remember when I was in high school, one of my best friends was, on the football team. It's like, he had all these, he was huge. He was huge in high school. He scored all these touchdowns. Imagine if all of those moments were highlights on Instagram and they were traded as NFTs throughout the high school. That would have been huge. Like, imagine and this is weird, but imagine the hottest girl is selling her. This sounds real fucked up maybe, but this is what's going to happen to me. This is where modern culture is going to go. And these kids are going to basically start to sell content to each other back and forth, and they're going to be like trading cards. And it's going to be like popularity points. It's going to be like popularity, like shit like that. I mean, this is human nature. This is where we are now. Imagine when you can put a monetary value to it. It to me makes the most sense, and is where kids will go. And you add a metaverse world to it where we can have digital avatars. It's going to be huge, dude. It's going to be massive. Hold on, I want to read this. I want to read this wild thought here. Wild thought to bring to the masses. Will sexual consent on the blockchain be the Web3 starter, sort of like a Tinder but confirming consent?
Yeah,
I'm kind of
possible.
Kind of confused by that.
Yeah, because legally, but it's
Yeah,
tricky. Not sure.
Yeah, you get the NFT, you go to a date, you are consenting to something, and then you can't say, "Oh, I did not consent," or "I got raped," or something, because you have already consented with the NFT and it's in the blockchain. So
yeah, that's tricky because you can still consent and then trick later. But it sounds like something maybe possible. Like you would have to have a checkout NFT, like a check-in NFT and a checkout NFT saying it was good or it was not good. That sounds scary, but yeah, I can see that as well.
Now we're teetering on a line where everybody's going to become a lawyer. Like, that's the problem with smart contracts to me, is we're giving everybody an opportunity to create these contracts that will cause massive problems to me. I don't know how the average person is going to be able to handle writing their own smart contract. This is why regulations are inevitable that are going to end up happening. Like, there's no way that mass adoption can happen without mass regulation. Like, NFT lawyers, right? Sure, yeah, like that's a great way to put it. Like this to me makes the most sense of like what will cause it is like there will have to be regulations before you can have what you just said, where it's like, hey, let's go ahead and sign this contract that basically states that you're allowed to, like, that we're allowed to have sex. That sounds real fucking sticky, bro. That sounds real sticky. Like, that sounds like a real problem. Like, especially when you start to do that in all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
Contracts alone are a problem. You start making everybody have the ability to create smart contracts is a problem. It already is sticky. You're 100% right, but there are some things that are not meant to be on the blockchain. But who knows, man? Who knows? I think that's the negative part of all this.
once you can get hacked and fake it as well.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah.
No, I like the wild thoughts though. I definitely appreciate all the ideas and
but it's
and
cool to
concepts here.
to go wild, because that's from what I read in the chat and from what I feel personally. I think the majority can see this situation happening and being experimented, whether they stay or not. But that's definitely something that I can see trying to solve, use cases from the new MERS. I don't know if it's a word in English. MERS. No, the habits of the culture and the next generation of dating app, social platforms, and everything. So that can lead to pretty funny or not situation. We'll see. But I wanted to touch on something that I read that sounded to me like kind of weird, and it kind of ties to what we talked, everything we just talked. But it's something I haven't seen. It was late March. You know,
No
there's
idea what this
yeah, but I will explain. So it's a platform called A-Not that sells royalties in the music, and so they are here since a few time now. They are based in Europe, and they are working great. And they've finally collaborated with a blockchain to create NFTs along their initial service. But what struck me, the thing that I was not aware of is that, you know, rights organizations, you know, like BMI in the United States, SOCAM in Canada, in France we have SACEM, and in Italy you have CIA, SYAE. So that's the rights organization in Italy. And the company A-Not, in collaboration with the blockchain Algorand, created 4 millions of NFT for 95,000 artists, Italian artists, members of the SYAE, as a mean to basically tokenize all the assets of the rights organization for all members. It would be like the BMI suddenly decides to tokenize all the work that he's registered at the BMI to every artist registered, kind of without their consent, or I mean, it sounds like an update. You know, they will probably send them a newsletter saying, "Hey, today your work has been tokenized, and we are like fresh, you know, on the tech market and everything." So it feels weird to me that suddenly, and we talked about it, and we were wondering what would be the moves from the rights organization facing the NFT world, because it to resume the topics, the NFT kind of makes these rights organization obsolete. You know, as long when they will become more mature, it will pretty much become the technology of the rights organization obsolete, and this across the world. But they can still keep, you know, adapt themselves and maybe help in the process of going in the mass adoption of this technology. So here I don't know where it exactly stays, but I find it, you know, pretty surprising that suddenly the right organization decided to tokenize all the work as a contract. You know, it's for the legal aspect of the protection in the digital world. So it sounds like a smart move, but at the same time, like a centralized move, you know, to create NFT in the back of for the members. I mean, they are still members of this society. So if you wouldn't be a member, you'd do what you want outside. But here it sounds like they brought this new service for their members, which is tokenizing all the catalog of the Italian right organization. Yeah. So that does it inspire
Yeah,
you? What does it inspire you?
Well, yeah, I was just about to ask, you know, so I fully understand this. So basically, it, you know, off first listen, it makes it seem as if we're talking about something that's almost like a label that enables their members. I don't want to use the word label maybe, but like it's basically like an organization that, you know, you become a member with them, and then they mint your work as an NFT, but do you still get royalty, or do you still get your percentage of that NFT, or are they the ones getting your percentage? I'm just trying to fully understand that. Like, if it were to sell, does that creator still get their full percentage, or is there like a,
No, it's
you know what I
only
mean?
for
Like,
no, it's only for the legal aspect. The NFT is not meant to be sold. It's only to exist to prove. It's only for the purpose of the authenticity, the certification here, because it's like the BMI, you know. So it's just for the BMI to say we got the digital version of the certification we used to do manually on paper, but it's just for the legal aspects in regards to this new ecosystem that they tokenized all the work just for the purpose of the certification, but not to sell them. You know, it's just to represent the work of the what the right organization is doing, but in the digital world.
okay, I'm kind of confused, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll ask some questions. So this is based on music.
Yeah.
And so it's basically like what, like a Web3 BMI, like you said, like a Web3.
No, it's actually the historic right organization of the country that exists since 139 years, that adapts their membership to a digital version of their legal aspect.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds. What makes it Web3 and NFT based? Is it just simply like they're just basically putting the legal aspects like what in a smart contract, and that's the
Yeah.
that's the difference?
Yeah, instead of having their manual database, historic manual database to be the the right organization, they added
Well, hey,
on
look.
top of that NFTs. Yeah.
Well, if it works better than the way BMI actually works, that'd be great, because man, BMI and PROs, dude, they fucking struggle just to realize like, yeah, that's me. Like, you fucking type in one thing wrong and the whole operation's fucked. So if that makes it simpler for everybody to see, all that stuff, then I guess that's a good thing, what's the con here? Like, what's the downside to this, or what's the thing that what's your sentiment on like the negative here?
It's just maybe about the content. I don't know how the whole operation happened, but because it's an historic organization and they try to stay in place, keep their centralization position, because they take percentage of all the royalties they redistribute to these 95,000 artists. So can see it as a move to embed the technology, adapt to continue to be the centralization power for these artists, not to go see if the grass is greener elsewhere. But and yeah, again, what makes me feels weird is that the company, the right organization, tokenized it on the back of everyone. Pretty much like I don't know how much of the consent all the members of this organization had on the tokenization of all the database of this PRO. So
Yeah. I kind of share the thought here. It does sound like a little trap. It does sound a little bit like
Yeah.
it's not that it sounds like a trap as much as it sounds like this is kind of one of the smaller like things I notice in the space, where it's like, once again, I say this a lot, it's so early and new that these types of things happen, and we don't know if it was you know, a good move, as in like it was an acceptable move, or if in 2-3 years we're gonna look back and say that was fucked up of them to do this without knowing what everybody else's sentiment on it was.
Yeah, that's kind of my move. The same feeling, like it may be like a trap. And I can really imagine, all the memberships just receive the newsletter like, "Hey, your work has been tokenized." And if I would be in this situation and knowing that all my work registered at my performing right organization was tokenized the next morning without,
Oh man. I just
you see
had
how
a
it
horrible
sounds?
theory.
It sounds fishy. Like if I want to go into the Web3 and tokenize my work, it creates confusion. Whereas if you wanted to do it by yourself, you will create a double from what this performing right organization, like they are defending their territory. That's how it sounds to me. They are making moves ahead to defend their territory on the digital landscape.
I mean, dude, imagine this. Imagine if Instagram right now was to say every post,
yeah, that's kind
every
of the
post
thing. Yeah,
is tokenized. Everything's an NFT now.
yeah.
Like every post you have, that would be fucking insane, dude. That actually, to me, sounds like something that I could see Instagram doing. where they basically come in. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say for sure here, but like even Facebook, you know, and trust me, I went back on my Facebook, you know, I made sure. But like, what if they just went and just started tokenizing everybody's Facebooks, everybody's social medias, and then every user is like sitting here like, wait, what the fuck? Like, why did you guys just tokenize all of my stuff? And maybe if that leaves you the opportunity to sell it, yeah, no, they probably are. They probably are. With Lindsay in here, I'm sure she's passing that info off to her spies right now. So it's probably happening.
Shout out to Lindsay.
But no, shout out Lindsay. Shout out Easy. Shout out Jax.
Yeah.
I see you guys that are rocking with us this whole time. Of course, Space.
La
Elaine
Hojita.
says hi. Who else is in here? Just chatting it up with us.
And Space.
My man. Graph Call. Graph Cow. Love it. Like on eBay when they tell you to pick. Yeah, like yeah. And dude, that's the thing here. That's the thing that I will say.
GB.
Right. But see, like, if there's an NFT tweets converter app, that at least gives me the opportunity to decide myself if I want to, you know, NFT a tweet. Whereas if Twitter all of a sudden was to say, hey, all of your tweets are tokenized, all of your tweets are now on the blockchain, like everything is now.
Yeah, that sounds like a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a little bit more. Now it's like, wait, you took all my data, you own all my content posts, but like, I don't really like the fact that you just basically took all of my NFTs now. Like, that's like a label who, you know, you sell an album to in, you know, last year, and now this year, because of an old contract that had nothing to do with the Web3 world, they just go ahead and just create an NFT of the album and they don't cut you in on it.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is some shady shit. That to me is not something that would be.
That makes me feel of the Jay-Z story, kind of. But
kind of, absolutely. 100%. And yeah, imagine if all of your emails get tokenized. Imagine every single company just overnight in secret doesn't even tell you. Everything is all of a sudden bang.
That's what Space Painter says. What stopped Twitter from doing it? What stopped this company to do it?
Nothing really.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And
social
3.0,
100%.
There's a concern where supposedly if everything get tokenized from one day to the other, then you are supposedly in control of your assets, in control of your NFTs, and you know there's this philosophy, but not sure this will happen. As here with the Performing Right organization, it really seems like for them a move ahead to keep the position on behalf of the understanding of their full membership and everything. So obviously, to me, I think so. I can be wrong, but it's the words from the general director of the company that says you want to assure the protection and the creativity. So that's the mission of the Performing Right organization since 139 years. So this project shows that our objective is to continue to assure for the next 139 years this infrastructure. We are not interested by the construction of infrastructure technological to generate profit, but instead of that, our objective always was to create the added value for our members. That's why I'm translating it from French. That's why we can today talk about infrastructure, open infrastructure, and put to disposition of all of our knowledge. So the technology blockchain is definitely an interesting episode to explore because of the transparency and its efficiency from its conception, its features. So which fundamentally for those who, like us, handle the salary of hardworking artists. And so that's the word from the director of the Performing Right organization. So he kind of trying to say at the same time it's more transparent and efficient, but it's for the benefit of our members. Like it's not to make profit, but it's to give a better service to our members and not let them handle it by themselves if they want. I mean, everyone can opt out, but yeah, it's a different territory.
Yeah, and as I read this chat, it all of these thoughts, all of these ideas, are frightening as well as exciting. It's I don't know. I think like where we are now is a pretty good determiner of where we're going, and I don't think that the idea of social media and the way that we post about our meaningless lives now, even though our lives aren't meaningless, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be that pessimistic about every post I see, but um, yeah, I mean, sure, we could go as far as to say is that life itself is meaningless, but if it's meaningless, then the meaning is to just do whatever the fuck you want, which gives it meaning. So it's like a weird paradox there, which I do kind of agree with. It's like either we're all artists or none of us are artists. It's kind of how I view it. We're either all artists or we're completely none of us are artists. But yeah, it's a lot of these thoughts are kind of scary because it's like, I don't know how much of tokenizing all of these thoughts, all of these ideas are going to be something that is going to help society versus um, hurt society. But then again, like, look, society itself is fucked anyways. So I guess I don't really know um, what I'm even getting at there. I just mean like all of these ideas are they're just so close, in my opinion, to being reality that it's kind of frightening. And like, dude, imagine if all of your emails, all of your texts, all of your phone calls, like everything could all of a sudden be tokenized in a very simple way. It could be very dangerous, but it could be very crazy. It could be crazy. Could be bad though. I don't know.
Yeah, and dangerous, and we talked about it already. But
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, that's it for this week's news. Yeah, no, there was a last thing I wanted to talk about is the hash project, which has been covered in TokenSmart, and I learned about it in TokenSmart, so I was curious and dived into it, and then I found a lovely project to me, which is tokenizing, or not only tokenizing, but creating art out of Ethereum transactions. So basically, you copy paste the hash of any transaction you want on the Etherscan, on the Ether Explorer, and you paste it, and it generates a unique art piece based on all the information in the hash. And there's a limited supply, so I believe it's like 10,000. They already did a first collection that sold out, and now it's the second collection which has 10,000 items of them. And so I played with it, and I created some art piece based on some of my personal transactions. But one just before that, I wanted to highlight. I came across a few weeks ago this particular piece, which I'm showing on screen, and I was kind of not understanding where it came from, and so I connected the dots later with hash, where I understood that it was from the first collection of hash that was released a few weeks or months ago. And so this particular art piece that we see on screen uh, is representing the first artist royalty split from usual music and Imogen Heap. The track was called Tiny Human, and it was in 2015. So it's a generated art piece that represents that very specific early moment in music and blockchain history. So I put it aside to, for doing a collection or something. And then I minted my own. I selected two transactions that were to me important in my music and blockchain life, I would say. Which the first one is the first music token I ever bought. Shout out to Connie Digital, like it was his track Hold On, that I really was like the first music NFT I bought, and it was 4 hours later before I bought my first ever NFT. So this day I bought like 2 NFT, and the second one was from Connie. And so I took that transaction and I created an art piece with it from hash, exactly and I wanted to show it on screen if I can, if I find it. But yeah, I will find it. But yeah, have you heard of this project? The time I try to find my piece.
No, I actually haven't. I mean, I might have. I mean, I always kind of like hear chatter about things, but I don't think I've actually. I don't think I've actually like really dove into this at all. But I mean, it looks cool. I mean, you know, I think it. I think if this is something that you're interested in, then why not?
Yeah, to me, it was a great way to talk about music and blockchain history and use it through the art directly and the technology. So that what interested me in minting some of these NFTs, some of these transactions that are historically meaningful. So that was yeah, really my mindset by doing so. And we talked about it with Connie and with Studio Novo as well, who is very into the music history thing. And so yeah, it generated this kind of artwork. And here they are on screen. And I think this one is the Connie Digital one, or no, not exactly, but I haven't edited them yet, so I'm still kind of lost. Yeah, it's these two ones. So yeah, I believe this one is the Connie Digital one, and the other one is like the first transaction from minting my album, the 100% blockchain album release experiment. So this was the first track being minted, and so yeah, I thought it was like a cool history to showcase. So yeah, it's just to me a good way to talk about music history, using the art and the technology revolving around the blockchain, you know, the transaction hash and generative art and everything.
Yeah, I mean that is cool. Yeah, I don't. I would be curious to see how that type of generative art can evolve into being, you know, less abstract like that and more like more based on, you know, maybe creating something that it has more use for the average person. I don't know how to describe what I'm even saying when I see that. I don't know if I don't know if that doesn't interest me at all. But then again, like I'm not interested by much in terms of like owning anything. Like I'm like I'm like an anti hoarder. So there's no real desire for me to own that type of thing. But at the same time, um, it could be interesting if I saw, um, if they made it in a way that was more appealing or had a question of, or if it led you to maybe create, like if it created an avatar, that would maybe be interesting. Like if it was a generative thing from, you know, a hash, but then it created like a physical avatar, that would be dope. I have no idea though.
So
I mean, I'm just spitballing here.
to answer Space Painter question, uh, I liked the vision, the style of them, so that's also why I minted some extra ones. And this one I just found beautiful, and I plan to remix it. But it basically is my highest gas transaction. So when you go onto the website, they already, you know, have your wallet, and so they can scan what's your first NFT, what's your highest gas operation, and so on. And so they prepare you kind of your saga of 8 moments, you know, in NFTs that you can mint without searching too much. You know, you can still copy paste any hashtag transaction on the.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I love this one.
Looks really cool. It's not very sophisticated, but it's beautiful in its simplicity. It's
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you know it's made by an AI somehow, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
totally imagining myself, introducing a little character, looking at the planet, and I just thought it was beautiful.
Exactly.
I love this one, and yeah, so I minted my highest gas transaction. The first music NFT I bought from Connie Digital, my first track from Others Die album, and the last one is the first ever NFT I bought, which is a Rob Ness piece, and I liked this one as well. But what I found interesting is that I see a signature here on the top right, and I haven't noticed it before, so I'm wondering, I know there's a signature on everyone, but I haven't noticed it before. That's interesting. Whatever. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about it, and I think in the logic of we want maybe to organize or I would love to help Studio Nouveau organize or relay an exhibition around music NFT history, and so I thought these could be great pieces along with the Imogen Heap and Usual Music one to be part of an exhibition around music NFT. To me, that makes a lot of sense to yeah, it would makes it even more kind of mystic within the exploration of a virtual space to have those assets and highlight the history with those along with NFTs and different kind of assets. But these ones are, I think, pretty captivant when it comes to an exhibition context.
Yeah, I do agree. I think this would be a really sick idea. And it actually kind of is similar to what we were talking about last night, which is, creating some sort of show that kind of highlights stories
Mm-hmm.
in the past. And what if, you had this as being like one of those, you could have a whole show based on the whole history, like basically like they said, the history of the music NFT space. But each piece of history is like this in its own visual representation created by this thing, and you set them up in a nice gallery, and you set it up in a nice show, and you explain each piece of history, and you make this big gallery, and you make a big auction for all of it, you make a bunch of money, and then you dip out and you're never to be seen again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
Yeah, the
But
International Galactic Music NFT History Museum. I'm totally up for that. That's my way of seeing things.
could be interesting though. I do actually I like the thought though. That would make it more interesting to me in the sense of, just creating a generative art piece out of making some sort of out of a transaction. Maybe that's not as exciting, but when there's a history and a story behind it, that's where the interest lies.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what we talked about at the beginning of the show, that the music history is so intense that, yeah, it wakes you up. It keeps you alive.
Right. Well, that's what we need. We need to stay alive. Man, speaking of staying alive, man, how do we feel about Five Guys, huh? Man, I could really go for a Five Guys burger right now. Am I wrong? Who in here would go for a 5G's burger right now? Fire.
Yeah,
Fire.
that would work for sure.
Space Painter says always high as fuck. Spaced. I promise you, I promise you, I have not smoked weed in legitimately 3 weeks, except for this past weekend. But I'll tell you
Funny
what,
guy.
funny guy. No, but I'll tell you what. But I will tell you, I got basically drugged this weekend. I told Mighty about it, but that's a whole other conversation. Somebody tried to drug me, dude. That's all I have to say. And I made it out alive. I made it out alive, guys, but my God.
Did you get raped?
No, but I almost did. I'm telling you, dude. It was fucking weird,
God
bro.
damn it.
I don't want to get you're like, God damn it. No, I'm telling you, it was weird as fuck. NFT drugs? Now we're talking. Now we're getting into it. I drug you, says Musashi. Love it. Hey, I kind of take that as a compliment. But tell us all, I really honestly, like, it was such a weird story that I don't know if it's actually shareable, but let's just say this. I was hanging out with an old friend. Hadn't hung out in a minute, and basically, we smoked some marijuana, and like I hadn't smoked in like 3 weeks, so I knew I was gonna get high as fuck. But let's just say at the end of me smoking, it was I had never felt that fucked up off of weed. And I legitimately, yeah, it's Marty says 3 whole weeks. I know, dude. I typically be smoking every day, so but I haven't smoked. I had to mobilize myself. But anyways, so I smoked some weed and I'm sitting there in the car and I literally cannot move my body. It was very, very weird. But I was aware enough to know that was not cool, and I got the fuck out of there. But I couldn't even move my body, dude. Like it was the weirdest thing ever. It was definitely some sort of fucking. There was some weirdo. What was I saying?
Did you get any hallucination with it?
No, it wasn't. You know what it felt like? I don't. The only other time I ever felt like this in my life was I had my appendix removed last year, and when I had my appendix removed, I got prescribed fucking oxys, basically. And by the way, if you fucking take these for fun, you're psychotic, bro. Because these things fuck you up in a way that's I can't even imagine. And the come down on those things is horrific. But I know plenty of people who are like addicted to opiates. So like that's not like plenty. I don't want to say a lot, but like I know people very close to me that are addicted to opiates. So it's not something to fuck with. And it's very, very serious. But the point is that's how it felt. We got done smoking and I was sitting there, literally my body was fucking numbed, couldn't really move, and like I couldn't even move my head. You know when you're like super drunk and like you move your head one way and it just kind of flies? It just moves with gravity. That's essentially what happened. So that's basically so that's what happened, huh? I mean, and I made it out alive. I ended up sleeping for like 24 hours. But the only what's so funny about this story is it completely came out because you were like you're always high as fuck, and I've actually been very, very sober. So, but I am here with everybody. I appreciate all the comments, even the jokes. It's all good. It's good stuff. But we made it out. We made it out alive.
Yeah, we're here.
Lindsay says, "Darn." Next time, Lindsay, you got me. Next time I'm in Brooklyn, you can get me. It'll be easy.
But yeah, that's important to wish everyone to take care, especially things like crazy things can happen, and yeah, sometimes you don't see them coming, and you get into a tricky situation. But like you said, you're here. Everything is good. We are talking music and blockchain all night. And
just a little side story for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, we've done pretty much all the topics. So
smoke camp. Hey, bringing up an idea like this, I will say, I think that the idea of decentralized organizations being more based on fun things and things that are less serious, the chance of success for a decentralized organization that has less to do with something monetary and something completely date rape camp. Oh my god, dude. The chat's getting real wild tonight. I love it.
That's electric. I told you that's the aggressivity. We are here.
She says, "Wow!" Everybody's just coming in like, "Wow!" Cancel her. Cancel Lindsay. Cancel her. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think something about that could be very, very very powerful. I think video games, dude. Like dude, I play Mario Kart with like a bunch of kids in this fucking server, dude, and they go crazy hard. And I'm like, yo, what if we created a Mario Kart league where NFTs were the victory, and we created this trophy that just gets passed down throughout generations of winners, blah 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 blah, and like that type of stuff is so interesting to me. So, but who knows? That's a red flag. I don't know what you mean. What's the red flag? I do agree that Mike Tyson could easily be more involved in something like this. I think that could be somebody that would be down.
And I'm following a company
in the blockchain.
NFTs
that? Really?
I'm following a company in the blockchain that is on the cannabis industry that's interesting to follow. I think it's multi-chain ventures, and they are working on interesting thing for the cannabis industry, medicinal industry in the US especially. So that's a bullish.
It's a great idea,
token.
dude. It's a great idea, and I do think like all of, and I think we said this earlier, but like imagine when Taco Bell, I know I say Taco Bell all the time because I just think it's like a cultural relevant fast food place, says, hey, here's the golden taco NFT, and you have free tacos for the whole year or free tacos for life. Like, bro, it's game over. Like that type of shit is gonna happen. That shit is going to happen. But yeah, I know they did put out NFTs, and I know they were pretty like they didn't really do what I think they should have done. But real shit though, that type of idea, it's about the utility though. It's not really about the look. It's not really about what it is. It's about the utility. If McDonald's came out with an NFT that said free McDoubles for the rest of your life, you just buy this one NFT. You just have to hold it. Like, dude, that's huge. That's huge.
Oh.
And that's gonna work. That's gonna happen. There's no doubt. And trust me, if I see that in your wallet, I'm blocking you on everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lindsay is boycotting Taco Bell because they took out the Choco Taco. I can get that.
Taco. That's gross.
Yeah, the Super Size Me NFT for sure.
It does sound gross. Taco Bell comes out with a new item every week and then discontinues it the next week. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever. You go there and they have some new fucking invention. It's just a different combination of beef, cheese, and taco. It's like, oh, it is. Like, hey, this time we have the taco meat on the outside. It's like, oh, sick.
Yeah. But yeah.
We're vibing.
Absolutely. That's cool to vibe with the chat. And we're done for talking about music and blockchain. And so whatever the chat is inspired with. And I think we went into some very interesting topics tonight, and way of seeing things, bringing things on the table. And so that's been an interesting week for me. Like I finally find some time to get into crypto voxels again. I try to organize and digest, distillate the best of my first year in cryptoart, I would say. And I have some crazy idea, but sometimes it's just miss time to organize, do the programmation, and on top of many other things that you do besides that. But I already started to build some interesting thing. I try to hack into the game to exploit extra space, or the texture combinations, or to have out of the game the best look that the game can provide you. And because I steal more and more to maybe do some events in the Geniuscorp vinyl shop or on other place, some musical events, whether it's from our local artists which we work with, or people within the metaverse to provide the space for cool musical events and stuff. And there's quite some topics that we touched on this year that were interesting, but kind of cut out because everyone is busy, and so it's not all throughout the year that everyone is connected, on the same vibe. And sometimes it happens, when there's some good moments for everyone to meet. Like I expect this summer, then we can feel back this vibe where it will be quiet, and we can have more time to hang on in the metaverse. And but yeah, there were some ideas like the music island, the decentralized music island, that sounded very interesting. The like doing massive collaboration as well, but as well as organizing. I was thinking like a music festival. I'm quite surprised that there wasn't already something like a crypto music festival within the metaverse, like something really official in terms of this is a music festival, and organizing I don't know, some economics around that, that can be. I think we have definitely enough talent to make like a 48-hour lineup, that is crazy, that runs 24 hours two times, with the only great music and a lot of traffic. There's the sponsors, there's enough people to make this happen and create the first sort of Metapalooza. They used this word for the B20, but I felt like it was kind of out of the purpose. So we should take that Metapalooza brand, and do or create another one, but really do a crypto music festival in the metaverse. I think this is something that can be pretty successful, pretty quality, if it's organized within the community. And yeah, I think it's very upcoming, like it's next. I feel it very close, and that's why I said I'm surprised that it didn't already happen this year. I think we should hang on all together to organize something like this and make it a powerful event throughout the web.
Dude, I think we're onto something here. Real shit. I think this is huge. Because look, I think between the two of us and between this chat and this whole group, we could easily set up some real fire shit.
Yeah.
This is because we definitely have the talent around us. We could definitely get a lot of people with a lot of different styles. We definitely have the artists. I say we do it. I mean, dude, even if we did like a weekly event or every 2 weeks or every month, we do one event that we throw, and it has all kinds of different artists. We have all kinds of different like music artists and digital artists, and we basically just invite people and we throw it in, some sort of metaverse place that's popular, that, and maybe we switch it every week, or whatever. But look, this idea excites me.
Yeah, it's
I like this
combining.
idea a lot.
Yeah, combining that with the Music Island ID, then yeah, you would have a dedicated place where every week or every month you have different types of events, even different events lined up in a decentralized fashion where, like in TokenSmart, there's one show from one group, another show after from another group, and so on. So you can have a pretty good, communication within the Music Island owners and organizers, or DAO. If it goes into a DAO, that would be the most proper way to do, I guess, to have a smart organization of everyone manage, combining their work together, so that for the audience it looks like a Disneyland. You just come to this place, and from 6 p.m. to 2 hour in the night, there's always something happening. You can party all night, but all music centered, like clubs, or and you got different vibes. You can have, yeah, like the 90s Woodstock recreation, the jazz sides, the clubs, the hip hop, and that would be like a space. But that's tricky because, yeah, you need a lot of space within the same place to organize it, or you need a really good teleporter features, efficient enough that it's, fluid to get from place to places. But either way, on top of that, yeah, you can organize massive events like once a year, like these big festivals where all the AAA crypto art people meet and bring the best of quality that an event can bring within the metaverse, and then have a very powerful impact with sponsors, with all the brands revolving around that can give a hand, showcased in the event. And because it would be a kind of event to make everyone shine, within the space. So that's I see this interest, it's this win-win situation doing so. So yeah, that would all make sense to have combine this dedicated place with then a dedicated schedule throughout the year to make a place live and have different activities that interacts within all the organization within the Web3 thing and everything.
100%. I'm actually I'm actually creating a form right now that I'm gonna send in. If you guys are down, I mean, if you guys are about it, I'm gonna send in and just literally, it's a form that just says if you're interested, literally fill it out, give me your email, and like let me know how let us know how you would like to be a part of it. Simple as fuck. It's literally one thing. You just put your email and then you just literally write up how you want to participate and how you might be able to help. And then I can send them everything. I can send everything through to you, Mighty, and we can just literally just start building a list of people that are interested, because I genuinely think this idea needs to happen. We have the resources to do so. We definitely know the talent to do it, and I think like our reach, we could easily get this going to be a monthly event, maybe every 2 months or something. I know people who are looking to put on real shows, but let's put on some metaverse shows. I think it's a huge move. I think it's a great idea. So so that's why I'm like literally just like, fuck it, let's jump the gun, let's throw a form in here and like let's see some people. I was lit up, dude. I was lit up when you said it, and then I saw the responses, and I was like, yo, we should do that. Like, and I'm thinking like everybody who's talking right now has something to offer here. We could easily just get this going. It's not hard. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not hard. It's gonna be, there's plenty of work involved, and but it's definitely something that we could easily start moving on. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna add you to this too as well, so you'll get the responses as well, Mighty. But
okay.
But yeah, sorry. I sorry to just like randomly pause and have to create this real quick. But
no, that's okay. That's okay. But I don't know if you can watch the screen. I can show you in exclusivity the early work I'm doing at the vinyl shop. Like I'm doing the official office with Mighty33. That is virtually there while I'm not there, but it's still early work. Sorry, I'm gonna cut that music. Yeah. So just some nice office on top of the vinyl shop. Here it is. But I have plenty of ID and plenty of new space to play with, though. We're going to expand music activities within the metaverse. We're here. Yeah, thank you everyone for participating. That's so cool. The energy is so cool tonight. And yeah, summer is coming. I hope everyone will enjoy the good days, the calm before the storm again. Winter is coming for you. Where are you, GB? Yeah, Australia.
Okay.
And then I wish you a good winter. Is that form coming, Mai? I think everyone's waiting for it.
You guys are ready for it? Let's get it. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's not, hey, listen, guys, I'm not the greatest copywriter, all right? So don't judge me. But just go ahead, just literally like, I tried to write in there like what you could do is just go ahead and by the way, whoever, there are some great questions that have been submitted to me through my ask submission form, and I'm very excited. Lindsay, honestly, you asked me some great questions. So did you, Easy, and I'm excited to answer them. But what I was gonna say is basically all you got to do. You asked some very wild questions, to be honest with you, and I love it. But what all you got to do is just provide an email and then just literally write down any idea or any way that you want to be involved. It's a little bit confusing, but any ideas, any way that you want to be involved, and Mighty, we can send this out to whoever, and then just maybe next week we can just revamp this idea and just keep coming back to this at the end of each show. But I really find this idea something that we should execute on, because it's something that's not happening. And we can make this decentralized. No, I'm just kidding. We could try our best to find a way to make this a decentralized event in the best way possible. I don't know if that's even possible, but I think the interest here is large, and I think that everybody in here could offer some sort of benefit. Drop the form in the event site. Got you. And if anybody has any suggestions, just literally just file it in and make. But I do think that this could be. Oh, you dropped it in there. Dope. You already did it. Nice.
And I'm thinking of it, but maybe we can, have a talk in Discord about it to get this rolling. And I was thinking, using the cross server where we could set up each on your Discord and on geniuscorp Discord talk about the Music Island thing. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the geniuscorp Discord is doesn't meant to be a public one, so I'm trying really to invite very slowly everyone willing to work towards the Web3 and the music in general. So I'm more than willing to give this place to get this rolling here, and we can connect this specific chat to your Discord so that we are connected, and maybe it can go through Studio Nouveau's Discord and the different actors that may be interested in their own Discord, like Pantheon, for example, or so why not do something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. You do have that set up in everybody's Discord, and I think that would be a great place to like mobilize more people too, because I think a lot of people who are in there are musicians, are artists, and what's great about this idea is this includes everybody at once. This is really something that is really for a lot of people at once, and I find that really, really exciting. Because the one thing that I even said to you last night, Mighty, and one thing that's like stressful about like doing your own thing, it's great because you have the control, but the worst part about doing things by yourself, majoritarily, and like being your own artist or whatever is like, you don't really share that with anybody. It's pretty much a lonely game, and I don't love that. A lot of my most enjoyable moments as creations come from collaborating, and I think something like this excited me immediately because I was like, we could all do our own thing. We could all put that all into a massive event and do it frequently. We could do it once a month, and we could build up that as we go. We could sell people's art there. We could create stuff there that then gets like, look, like, it's not about the money, but I'm just saying like we could do this in a way where it benefits everybody who's involved, and we can put people on. We can put on cool events and cool little games and stuff. And I know that TokenSmart is already great at this types of stuff. Decentralized or nothing at all, in my opinion. I love it, Jax. No, I love it. It's the only thing is like how to make it decentralized is the question. Of course, I have no interest in making it like centralized and like having like one dude like run the whole thing. Like I'm not interested in that whatsoever. And that's why I was like, yo, everybody who pretty much submits a form, we're all fucking in. If you submit the form at all and you have any interest, we'll just create some sort of place where we can all communicate and but just so that we can all get this forward. But I just think that this could benefit us all in a really great way, and it could be a lot of fun. So communicate like you said, and then like put artists into a position where they can showcase their art, put musicians in a place where they could showcase their music, and just have a fun blast. You know what I mean? Get all fucked up in the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. We'll get all drugged up together in the metaverse, lace each other's weeds, make each other, vulnerable. I'm kidding.
I wouldn't mind drugging a few people.
Would you say, Spaced?
I said I wouldn't mind drugging a few people.
I love it. Please do not lick the walls. That's classic. But yeah, please, anybody that's interested in that, I definitely love that. And Mighty, I will literally just basically send you all of the info, because as much as I created it, I don't want to be the guy to like head anything, because I'm a little bit too I'm not great at managing situations. But Mighty, I know that you'd be amazing at this. So but yeah, we'll all be in, we'll figure this out. Next week we'll come back together on this and we'll give an update. But I'm pushing it forward. That's for sure. Like, I think this is a great idea. This is something that I don't see being done. Surprisingly, though, like while I'm listening, I'm like thinking like it's surprising that there isn't a weekly there isn't like a monthly, very important music art festival that happens all the time. And Lindsay, you're right. Maybe there is, and I'm just literally being dumb. Oh, you didn't invite me. I probably wouldn't show up anyways. No, I'm just kidding. That's rude. That's rude. But it's cool. Cool. I'll take the L.
Yeah, but beyond the event in itself, yeah, really the idea of connecting the different places in the metaverse from that different artists owns and showcase their work to create meta connections within the crypto music and art more in general is really something that has to be worked on yet and doesn't really exist. And so, I mean, only on a very minimal level. So yeah, I would be interested in working toward that direction, and I'm thinking about allowing a space for that as well. So
I'm saying at the end of July, we aim to have our first show. We already have the resources. We just don't need to overcomplicate it. And like I said, everybody who's interested in this, just help out. Like let's get it, because we have too many good people in here we have all these ideas, as we're in here talking about all these great ideas. Let's just start creating some stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and who knows, like this could turn into something real exciting. Like this could turn into something where, people want to come and perform and showcase their art at this event. So I think where a lot of these people that are in here right now, and we can bring the right people in, we do it the right way. At the end of it, this could be really, really exciting. And dude, exactly, we could have a cipher at the end of it or in the middle of it. I mean, literally, this is why I love this idea so much. Is everybody who has something to share and who has something that they've created we can easily implement it. And what's great about the metaverse, there's no lack of space. we can basically just make it work. It's incredible. And I'm very excited to see this come to fruition. But let's say the end of July first show. Who knows? A month from now, we have 1 month to figure out where, who, what. I don't even care, but I'll perform. I know that Cypher will be a part of it. Space Painter is clearly going to be involved. Mighty, you'll obviously be a part of it. We already got a good set list already. We're already crushing. Lindsay's going to run the marketing and the merch and the CIA. Make sure that nobody comes in and hacks us.
But yeah, sounds good. I mean, it's always good to put us deadline, even though we doesn't reach them. But it's motivating.
Yeah, look, I mean, hey, if we've got to push it back a few weeks, that's okay too. But I'm just saying, I think, I'm excited about it. I just really think that we have it. We have what we need right in front of us. The idea itself is great, and I think that we have the talent. We have the people that are interested enough to get it done. And so I think like that to me just is really exciting in a way. So, and we already got 4 people. We already got 4 people in here that have submitted. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this, dude. See, we already got some cool ideas here too. Like a lot of these ideas are dope. So, yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited for it. I'm sorry to just like hijack the idea when I saw it. I was like, let me just jump in and grab this idea and be like, no, we're doing this. I don't care what anybody wants. No slow down. We're fucking running forward with this idea because it's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the end, it will happen with or without us. So let's
might as well be with us.
Let's play with it.
Hey, let's go, dude. Wait, where did this come from? Oh, okay. No, there it is. I was like, wait, what am I in right now? Sorry, I got a notification and I saw Easy was like, yes, and yes. And I was like, where is this at? And I was like, the Music Island. I was like, what is this? And it's in Mighty's Discord. I was like, where is this coming from? But I see it. But I see it now.
Yeah,
dude, 100%. We could get Song Camp involved. Literally, this is 100%, dude. This is 100%. Everybody can be a part of this. Everybody, every group, every aspect. We can showcase stuff. We can have people that are just basically selling their own NFTs. We could put like vendor shops up. Everyone's a headliner. It's just a 24-hour event for literally years. 24 hours, 365. The event never ends.
Yeah, I mean, we can start with 2 days and then maybe in 10 years it will be 24/7 all across the world. And yeah, I believe so. The metaverse will be vibrating all day and all night.
Right. Hopefully we haven't scared anybody away from the idea. I mean, I think it's just it's very exciting, and I think that the Never Ending Music Festival is a horror movie. I feel that. It's a lot of drugs. But no, this is good stuff though. This is really exciting for me particularly, and you know, Mighty, I know that you already are doing a lot and working on a lot of stuff, and I'm definitely down to like basically like I'm down to head this with you. I'm just saying I do think that you would be, you know, one of the better CEOs of this type of event, making it and directing it into existence. So but we'll figure it out. We'll have conversations about this after the fact as well.
I'm definitely interested in doing or participating into whether it's the idea of the events or the music island in general.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to develop and talk about it, I'm always open.
Yeah, 100%. And we just keep the conversation going, just keep collecting people who are interested, and then we'll just basically reach out throughout the week, and we'll have maybe we just have like a conversation about it at the end of every MightyMai show, and we'll see what you know, how quickly we can make this event occur. But I think we got the squad, man. We got the squadron.
Pretty sure, that's for sure. Absolutely. So
pretty sure that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. We should come back to it at the end of the next show and make points on the development of these sides of things. But again, I invite if you want to keep have a room for that. There's our Discord to incubate those ideas amongst the serious people involved, and so if you want, I can send invitations or you can write to me to get into it, and then we can continue and share around this.
No doubt.
So, shall we wrap up? Are we good for this week?
Yeah, I mean we did go on a little tangent there at the end, which was good. But I mean, yeah, is there anything else that, you know, we needed to discuss, or is there anything that anybody else had on their mind?
Yeah, let us know if you want to talk about something. But on my side, it's good for this week. Yeah, just there was a news I put in the headlines, which was an artist doing a custom OST, original soundtrack for the life of a fan. So the fan will buy an NFT, and then the artist, which is the artist that made the music for great Hollywood movies and such, for like Justice League, big movies, Deadpool or Mad Max as well. Like the fan will buy an NFT, and this composer will create a custom soundtrack based on the life of the fan buying the NFT. So yeah, just wanted to mention it. It's a cool vibe.
Oh yeah. Shout out them.
But yeah, to me, we're done.
Perhaps I think we may have hit the wall here. I mean, I don't know. There's no wall. We can just keep going through it for sure. Pizza Dow will give out pizza, please. Natalie, come through with the pies. I'm all about it.
La Hojita, I just invited you. But yeah, pretty exciting, everything that's happening.
Yeah, and I like that we're basically going to have the meetings at the end of the MightyMai show, which we could probably say, like, you know, we'll have 2 hours of the show, and then maybe at the end of each show we'll try to
some homework, homework in between two MightyMai show, like.
Yeah, and it's like asking, a live.
Where are we right now?
Right, it's like a live version of like where we are too. You know what I mean? Like we'll be able to kind of publicly show the development of it all. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty exciting. Yeah, dude, that would be amazing. Live VR, making live VR art. We have so many people. That's what I'm saying. We have so many people that are capable of providing value for this event, that everything and all ideas, legitimately all ideas, every idea possible, let's get them. I literally think this is gonna be incredible. Or it's gonna be fucking terrible, but it's gonna get better the next time, baby. But it's gonna get better the next time. Poetry slam, Lindsay, don't even be messing around, because I will show up to the poetry slam. I'll show up to the poetry slam. Real talk.
But yeah, I can have a pretty exciting lineup in my head for.
I'm super hyped. I DM'd you both already with a bunch of stuff. I'm super hyped.
Let's go, Spaced. And by the way, yes, feel free to take that form and send it out.
I did it already.
And feel free to gain your own, like collective of people as well, because we can kind of like just all spread this information out like a healthy disease, a very healthy.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of people on my list already.
Let's go.
Yeah, I do.
Let's go. We already got we got more responses, baby. Let's go.
I do have quite
Let's
some.
go.
I do have quite some names in mind when it comes to making a great lineup, and yeah, especially I was thinking as well of the cipher, for sure. Like, having artists that makes their show, and as well some moments in the lineup where it's some sort of celebration, like federation, that like the cipher is, and different kinds of events, but that would run for 2 days straight, and then no sleep for no one.
Absolutely. I mean, like, and maybe that's what we should. Maybe next week we should just figure out, how long we would want the event to go for, like, and then figure out, like, once we have a list of artists, visual and creative, and like events, so to speak, like whether that's Cypher, whether that's a live VR, we can kind of start to figure out timings, so to speak. Like, we could just figure it all out, like in real time. Like, I like the idea of doing it like in the Discord, like almost in a way where like we can all chime in and be like, okay, like what makes sense, how we want to do it. But this is gonna be very, very exciting. It's gonna be GB 100%. Dude.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like the 20. That's not to say that that's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. Oh, just love it. Jinx, you owe me a soda, my dude. I'm just kidding. Maybe a water. Give me a bottle of water. A boxed water. Sorry, I've heard bottled water has toxins in it.
That's where we met, and that's the kind of event like we were very hyped to participate in, and that is the surprise as well, that it didn't really happen again on such scale like the New Year's Eve event, but that's exactly the vibe, but like times 2, times 3 times, the
100%.
augmented version of that.
Right. And dude, hey, look, I'm sure that the TokenSmart team would be interested in this and helping out even, I'm sure that we could reach out to, Sandy, Rizzle, anybody else that's a part of the actual crew it themselves, and I'm sure that they would be interested, even if like a slight handing help, because we could help. I would love to throw it in a TokenSmart-esque way, because I think this community is strong. It's like a good center point for it all. But Rizzo left us? Well, I think didn't he just leave NFT 42? Maybe I don't know what that means. What's NFT 42? Am I tripping?
No, NFT 42 is the umbrella that holds TokenSmart and different initiative and business affairs. So yeah, it's from what I know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe that means he has more time to help us throw this event. That's what it sounds like to me. Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Don't fucking joke like that with me. I love it. No, yeah, we'll subcontract him. No, it's all good. But I guess that is like spaced. I guess Rizzo departed from the NFT 42 team. I'm not 100% certain on the details. I mean, he made it. He explained in a couple posts, I think. I don't know. I'm sure he'll explain it to you if you ask him though. Okay, yeah. I don't know, but nonetheless, like I said, hey, more time to help us. More time to help us throw a dope event. And look, like I said, this is an opportunity for a lot of artists to put up and showcase art, and maybe we can find ways to fund the event so that we can almost try and get some art pieces to sell even. Like, I don't know, I'm not trying to look too far into the monetary side of it, but I think like these types of thoughts are what will make the show make more artists want to come back to the show and have people put more into it for the next month and vice versa, and just keep it going. But everybody who's responding and putting in responses, I appreciate you guys, because we're already building up a nice list of people that are interested. Not to mention where everybody else is already at, talking to everybody. So lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, and it needs experimentation as well as because it's tricky, to have like 24 hours of show that are really shows, that really performing artist that does something unique, and that it doesn't end up, to 24-hour DJ set, because I mean, on the first level, maybe it will be something like it, because it would requires more attractivity and success, maybe for artists to consider really to prepare something really unique to bring to such an event. But I'm not sure it will, everyone will have the time first for it. And I would respect, any kind of initiative that an artist would want to do to do to prepare something even minimal, but kind of unique for this kind of event. But yeah, later in the future, that what I would be looking for, if I would be the CEO of such something like this, to yeah, really have the artist mobilized to the point that you know that you are going to witness a real show, and it's not to talk about the current possibilities, but having something. I think you get what I mean, but
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna need to be. We're not just gonna like, hey, everybody show up, and we're gonna have to figure out some sort of structure that is engaging, fun, and also inclusive. But that's what I'm saying. We got this. We got the squad. We got the team here. We got the people, and we got the brains to figure it out. And I have a lot of faith in us to pull this off in a way that is not only going to be successful, but a lot of fun. So
anarchy.
I love it. Anarchy. We need it. We need the anarchy. Honestly, I might stage a metaverse terrorist attack during the event. I'm kidding. Okay, that might have been too far. That might have been
That's not
too
the
far.
best joke, but that works. That
Space
works.
Fader says, "What the fuck?" My bad. Just kidding. JK.
Well, yeah, that's the good note to end the show. Yeah. So no matter where, please. My where?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
My way. I love
that's the
it.
my
I love
where.
it. What's so funny about the check your mail Santa denier? That looks like that could be me in like 10 years. That could be me in 10 years.
That's kind of true. No.
Yeah, in a very horrible way. But listen,
you would have turned bad. The Web3 would have crushed you, and
yeah, this is after the Web3 world destroys me. Stop the meth. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
But no, good stuff, guys. Hey, I'm excited. I appreciate everybody,
Yeah, me too.
chiming in and having some fun.
Thank you very much. And so we will keep a very close eye on that Discord and the submission. And
the microphone. Bro, I'm sorry. This is cracking me up. How about this? How about this, guys? This is a good one.
So yeah, let's keep up on this and wrap this up. And I feel we, took everyone enough time already, but that's good stuff, and very hyped about today's conversation. thank you again for all this participation. The energy is, I feel, building more and more every week, and that feels so good and so motivating to get this and get the best of ourselves in analyzing what's happening, and as well as living it 24/7, because Mai and I are in this situation where we are 100% doing this and doing music, and we are in the middle of the jungle with all this, and try our best to stay balanced and safe, and yeah, so that's very exciting, and we're grateful about all this support that that represent and that you're sharing with us. And yeah, I'm always smiling doing so, talking with you, and yeah, that's all very exciting, as we are really at the forefront, on the first line of this whole change and revolution. So yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Thank
that's
you.
you saying that, it just goes back to like our conversation last night, which one of the biggest things that we talked about, and one of the biggest things that I have been not struggling with, but have desired and haven't really had the opportunity to have, is more collaboration. Despite all of the collaborative things that we're doing, I crave more of it. I crave more collaborative situations, and I think that this is going to be a great opportunity to do that, and this is an opportunity for us to really do a mass collaboration with the whole metaverse, the whole space, and it's great, and so I'm excited to just do more, and it is great to just be able to share this all with you, Mighty, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited, and yes, Lindsay, let's do this. More collabs, better, absolutely. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff. We're energized here. We're energizing here. That's what we do.
And yeah, thank you for all your kind words. That's very hot. That's hot, baby.
That's a hot.
Yeah, so then I'm going to wish everyone a good week, and stay safe, stay healthy, balanced, and be vigilant. And yeah, I guess we see all us next week for the 24th episode. Maybe we will have a 25th episode anniversary special event. Who knows? And yeah, we still have some names to invite. Some guests coming. We like to have our moments where we just talk all together, and sometimes there's really good talks that we are in contact with, that we love to bring to the show. So it's still to be expected, and yeah, we're working on it. Just waiting for the finest moments and guests to share with you from our perspective and network. So stay tuned on that, and yeah, thank you, Mai, again for your energy. Actually, our conversation to me was this morning, as I haven't slept last night, and then you're about to go to bed at 8 in the morning. Space Painter can relate. And then Mai hit you up, say, I would love to have a little chat. And then you end up in talking all together for 4 hours, going so deep across the world. And yeah, that was very inspiring. And I'm very excited for you to release your music and share it with the crowd, as well, as I feel that no one really knows what you're up to when it comes to music, and that's your music has been one of the, to me, one that I really resonated with lately, and I'm always expecting high quality music, and so I know that there's 30 gems sleeping in about to be released that we worked on, and so I invite everyone to keep up on that as well, because your talent is still unreleased. Really. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I gotta obviously thank you for in a large way, like almost pushing me to get to this point. you know, like I said, I've probably told this story many times, but you were one of the first people that found, you know, those demos that I had up on Audius about almost like, well, it was like 10 months ago at this point, maybe 9 months, maybe 9 months ago at this
November.
point. And
Yeah, like
yeah, it was like November. I put up 50 demos on Audius, and I had them up there for a few months. And but you found them within like a couple weeks, and you know, you hit me up, and it was one of our first conversations was about the music, and you were just so encouraging and so willing to be like, yo, let me help you take these to let me help you take these to another level. And that you did. And where you are now, sitting on, you know, a very large catalog, and I'm very excited to continue to share that music. And if you guys do join that Discord that Easy did just generously send in there, we right now, you know, I'm basically just giving out tokens for participating in the Discord. And you know, all we're doing, we're voting on content, we're voting on artwork, we're voting on all kinds of stuff. It's basically I'm trying my best to give the community an ability to just get comfortable, and me get comfortable with allowing people to kind of get intimate with the music. And you know, last week Easy can attest to this. He actually reached level 1 already. Level 1 is pretty simple though. All you have to do is like do basic stuff. Lindsay's at level 1. A couple people are at level 1, but if all you got to do is and then you get bonus content every week. So that's the best way to put it. You get bonus content each week that goes along with the songs. But it's just a test, you know. I'm trying to get used to putting out music and sharing everything. So I'm starting kind of slow here, but I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you, Mighty, for sharing that those words, dude. That's dope. And I'm like I said, I'm super excited to just share more music as we go. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be
or bad.
hot.
Who knows? Who knows? No, I appreciate though.
Yeah. So
Hey, did he say sin? Let's go. Space Painter gets it. Space Painter has no idea. I don't even know if Space Painter knows
I
how
get the sins.
Dude, sin, sine wave, dude, trust me, we could go deep. We could go deep right now.
And I banish them also.
Sine waves are cool.
Shall we
Live
play sine wave to close the show, like as an exclusive?
Oh shit, dude. I mean, kind of lit. Kind of a lit idea. I mean, fuck it. Listen, yeah. I mean,
this one, and we can play the 3 in a row, like Synthwave, Evidence, and Insincere.
I mean, fuck it. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm with it. Evidence or evidence. Yeah. Thank you, Lindsay, for the correct spelling there. That's good work. You just earned some MAi. No, I'm kidding. It is the second one though.
Yeah, I think it's
but yeah, dude, I'm down.
Good way to
down.
Just give a taste. And you told me these 3 particular ones doesn't really represent what's coming next, and they are kind of like the ugliest version of what you could bring on the table, and that's on purpose, kind of to discourage the one that are not here for the right reasons. I believe, but yeah, so maybe it's a way to have a
yeah, exactly. It is 100%. I appreciate that is kind of like where I'm at with it. It's like very much so it is like a very it's like a palate cleanser, you know. I'm putting out all this random, these first 13 songs which are all over the place, and some of them might represent me well, but some of them are fucking curveballs. Like for example, the song that's coming out this week is wild. I mean, it's not that crazy. It's just like weird. It's like a very dark song, but it's like very like, oh man, it's strange, man. It's a strange tune. And you guys voted it. You guys voted it this week based on the title alone. So Insincere is going to be coming this week, by the way. I'm actually going to put art. I'm going to be putting I'm putting artwork in there tomorrow, and you guys are going to be able to vote on the artwork for this week's song as well. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. But please, if you want to, Mighty, we can do some exclusive listens here. Evidence is already out, of course. You guys probably already heard that tune. And then we could play Insincere and Sine Wave if you're feeling it. but I'm gonna fucking. I don't even want to see. I don't even want to hear what you guys think yet. But I mean, that would be fun. No, it's good. It's all in the good. It's all good fun though.
All right. So, with your consent, I'm wrapping this up and going to play Evidence, then Insincere, and then Synthwave. And if you are not in this Discord right now, you're late on my, and you will discover it like everyone with the release during the upcoming weeks. Yeah, thank you for sticking with us tonight. That was an epic moment again all together. And yeah, I'm really happy to meet with all of you next week.
Hell yeah.
So that's Evidence. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye TokenSmart. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the team. We're killing it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. Keep up everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sure. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah. Quick. Hurry up and hide the evidence. I know you're the devil, but the feeling you give heaven sent. I guess I was raised to think I'm better than. I did this alone, but I appreciate your sentiment. If you really believe in you, then why the fuck are you settling? I'll always take my time with you, baby, I'm a veteran. Mixing weed and espresso with some cinnamon. COVID isn't real, but I really wanna smell again. My T levels are down, y'all are freaking me out. The only way that I'ma make is if I pick a new route. They will all come around, stay away from the crowd. The only way that she won't fake is if I'm eating her out. That's just part of my style, call me if you're in town. Fuck it baby, I'm down, lyrics I'm running out. Why you running your mouth, bloodline from the south.
Insincere, I might be hovering. I'm narcissistic and I think I am a lunatic. I exist, so what's it matter what the future is? Acting goofy, but please don't ignore the grooviness. Something simple gets me every time. One censor, you know that's a sign. From the victim to what's on my mind. I think I'm losing it. Yeah. You should really shut the fuck up. If our love wasn't real, then tell me, baby, what was? I'll eat between your labias for supper. We could play this game forever, girl, we're lovers. Insincere, I might be hovering. I'm narcissistic and I think I am a lunatic. I exist, so what's it matter what the future is? Acting goofy, but please don't ignore the grooviness. Yes.
Sin is the fact that we have entered in the sine wave, which is sin.
Don't know why I even try. I don't even want the prize. Most of us wearing disguises. Sit back and just let it ride, kid. You gon' get even right. You said you met people, right? Well, tell him I wrote him some songs that I think that he might like. Why aren't you wearing a mask? Aren't you scared? You look like a mess. You losing your hair? Yeah, I'm aware. And no, I'm not frightened. They really just want you to fear. They just wanna fill you with that evil spirit. You ain't really listen, but you need to hear it. If it had to happen, then I had to bear it. I'm not responsible, I don't write my lyrics. There's really no time to waste. There's really no time and space. I ain't been writing days, but life is a sine wave. There's really no time to waste. There's really no time and space. I ain't been writing days, but life is a sine wave. 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 Life is a sine wave.
The firmament. I'll have to check that. I don't know why I'm confused now, but you've got primitive modulator.